Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream. Today it is the 2nd of January 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you had a great time with your New Year's Eve partying and New Year's Day partying. I was tucked up in bed on standby, and I've been flying today. I've been awake. Get your violins out, ladies and gentlemen, for 15 hours. I'm going to do my absolute best to be as proficient as possible. And today we've got something really, really cool. We're in a different 737. We're in the just recently released Threshold LevelUp 737NG series. We're in the 737-600 on our inaugural sector of this aircraft from Dublin to Eindhoven. Really excited to show you everything I've seen with this aircraft. Done a couple of test sectors, some really good bits, some bits that need to be improved on. Really nice new aircraft for the community to have in X-Plane 11. But we'll get on with it and zoom on in now towards our aeroplane. Who we got here? We've got Jay Moyam, John Christie, Bert Feller, Greg Scott, Commander Eindhoven, Adam Henderson. Hello to you. The OK Golfer, Listerman. You're doing well, buddy. Domino Mosina, Tim Waters, Callum Greenler, Commander Eindhoven, Phoenix, John Christie, Paul, Glyn Marison, Microfish, JPF1, Joe Drake, hope you're doing well, buddy. Liam Barwick, Jesse Bruss, Gregory5TV. Lots of new names here I've not even seen before. ADS Legends, Duncan, Conduit, I can see he's here. Vanguard, Burak, hope you're doing well. I did see Tim Sanders is here. Twerkster, I haven't spoken to you for a very long time. Twerkster's got to thank a lot for having the excellent flight model in the ZIBO mod. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Great to see you in the live stream as well. But here is the LevelUp series with the 737-600. Isn't it cute? I've never flown the 600. It's a common type rating. I'm actually type rated on this aircraft. All the 737NGs behave and fly sort of in a similar way. The smaller variants, the shorter variants,
50,
a little bit more sprightly,
40,
essentially
30,
there. So that's
20,
all looking good.
10.
Rack, it's £100. Oh, Rack.
Thanks a lot for what you have done for us in 2021. To a much better year. Cheers, Captain.
Oh, Burak, that is, I just, £100 straight off the bat. I don't even know what to say, man. Oh, why did you do this to me? I'm so generous as ever, Burak. Thank you so much, man. That's absolutely crazy. Oh, I'll talk to you at the end of the stream. MGS1, thank you very much for 8 months membership as well. Happy New Year. Thank you, Captain, for a wonderful community. I wish you strong health and more great events. Thank you very much, MGS1, for 8 months as a member as well. Burak, just off the scale, man. I have no words. I'm flabbergasted. I've had to be saying all about this amazing aircraft. John Shadow, 17 months as a member. Thank you. Very good evening. Very good New Year 2022. Thank you very much for everything in the past year. You're most welcome, John Shadow. Thank you so much for your continued support. I just saw an alpaca merge over here. Anyway, very quick overview about this aircraft then. Now, I've not really been following the evolution of this aircraft, the LevelUp 737-600. I didn't actually realise how involved ZIBO had been as well. ZIBO, as you well know, I've been working with for the last 4 years in helping him develop the ZIBO mod. No, hold on, I need to be a professional streamer here. Turn the music down. Wait, it's just about to end. Yeah, so I've installed this aircraft for the first ever time yesterday, and had a little bit of a play with it, and I was actually initially really impressed. It looks amazing, sounds really good. I prefer the sounds over this with the ZIBO mod 737. So it's got ZIBO systems in it, and ZIBO's helped incorporate all these systems with the LevelUp team. The flight model, though, is unique to LevelUp and the Threshold team, and at the moment, at this early stage, it sort of shows. The ZIBO mod flight model is very, very good. It's been adjusted, fine-tuned, mostly by Twerkster, who's in chat today, to provide quite the quintessential 737NG experience. We'll point out a lot of things here with the LevelUp flight model. All I can say is this is their first ever release version. It's a really good foundation for them to build on and improve in the future. I'll be pointing out some of the little quirks and issues at the moment. For anyone that just wants to fly the 737 LevelUp for just flying around, they're not going to notice many things, but we have quite high standards here at Flight Deck to see. We want to see a realistic 737 as soon as possible, and hopefully we'll have that over time. But very good start at least. Anyway, let's zoom on into the aircraft. Oh, EIDW. Oh, that's a nice magazine. There you go. Professional as ever, straight into the Flight Deck to get the aircraft set up. So first things first. You can see the textures, I think, are a lot clearer than you get with the ZIBO mod 737. They've been fine-tuned, I think. The quality is really nice in here. Very impressed with all the little touches. The textures on all the gauges are a little bit clearer too. The sounds, as you'll hear me get it all started are very nice as well. I believe they've got the sounds recorded from someone, either a FlyJ sim or someone directly from Laminar Research as well, so it's all been a whole host of different people helping bring this aircraft to be released there. Christian, look how massive the tail is. Yeah, I mean, in proportion to the aircraft, it is huge. It's, I'm guessing, the same size vertical stabilizer as on the 800 and 900, but it does look a little bit out of proportion, but that is how it is. It's just a shorter fuselage, one less emergency exit in the middle rows as well, one less recirculation fan. There's a few other quirks as well, but I'll point out what I can. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. Batteries on. GPU. Straight away putting anything on the bus, you get these very realistic clicks, and it sounds like the FlyJ Sim 737-200 in here, but I think overall the sound's a little bit better than ZIBO. So battery on, GPU's on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps on, you can hear them clonking in the background, and landing gear lever is down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights, and then check all the aircraft documentation. Fault and fire test next, so there's the squibs, and there's the fault test. So fault APU detector in op, and we can now do the fire test. All the fire warning lights, engine overheat, wheel well, overheat detector, and the fire light as well on. Emergency exit lights we can now arm. So it has, I think LevelUp have been developing their own tablet, but because they didn't want to delay the release of the aircraft any further, they sort of stuck with the ZIBO tablet, obviously different pictures, but the functionality is pretty much the same there. So we'll go here to check the flight plan. Here's our OFP. So, I don't mean to say where we're flying today. We're in Dublin at the moment, Aerosoft scenery, flying to Eindhoven in Holland. Now, we have attempted to get into Eindhoven before on a previous stream, but my sim crashed. And there's a VATSIM event going on there this evening. So, it should be great for the immersion. Flight time, 1 hour, 10 minutes for us. Burns a little less fuel than the 800, so it's saying about 2.2 tons per hour. It's about 2.3, 2.4 in the 800, and we're reasonably heavy in the 600 today. We've got 120 passengers simulated. So we need 5.4 tons, take the standard extra 30 minutes. We'll call it 6.6 tons, a little bit extra on there as well. 6.4, sorry, 6.4 tons. So let's go here, home, fuel weight and balance, firstly 6.6. And we've got 120 passengers. This is identical to the ZIBO mod. There we are. Cool for the fuel truck. And if we look out here, we should see, what is a typical Irish name? I don't know. Connor. Connor O'Shea is uplifting Jet A1 into our aircraft. There we are. So payload's done, and the fuel, working our way back on here. We'll push the attend button to test that. We'll check the flaps are up, and we've got up on the indicated position. Do a takeoff config check. Looks a bit used, this aircraft. Love it, like all the scratches here. Very nice.
Minimums.
Squibs.
Approaching minimums.
Cargo fire warning test. That is complete. Transponder 2000 standby, rudder and aileron trim 3 and 0. Gear extension doors closed. Circuit breakers are all in. First officer side, we check the emergency escape rope. Need to wait a little bit longer for the stall warning test, MAC SB warning test, flight recorder, IRS to nav. We have no lights illuminated here. Ooh, where's the... Oh, I don't have the little gauges here. Oh, well, we want that on at the moment. There should be a little plastic case here, but I guess I haven't pulled that yet. And the captain's circuit breakers are all in. We check all the emergency equipment, crash acts, and yeah, we'll look at the cabin later. The cabin is really quite nice, and I don't think there's any audio at the moment, but we'll press start flight leg anyway and simulate that everyone's being boarded. Luke Norman, thank you very much for your membership. I hope you're doing well. I really appreciate that. You get to use your members only Discord, invited to our members only Discord as well. Use the custom emojis in chat as well. I'm sure you'll find that very enjoyable. Thank you very much indeed. Matt, is there no trim air switch on these? No, there's no trim air, so I think the packs directly control the temperature. There's only one recirc fan as well, so slightly different air conditioning system. From what I understand, each variant of the 737 and 600, 700 has been modelled correctly, which is pretty cool. You'll also notice there's less lights there because there's only one overwing exit either side, not two, which you find on the 800 and 900 series, which is pretty cool. Abbas, no lid on the coffee cup. That's actually a good point. We have to have lids in the flight deck. That's quite cool. Very realistic looking coffee as well. Excellent. Where would we get to now? So let's grab some weather. Let's get the 80s here. 124525. There's no VATSIM event here, but we do have ground tower online, which is pretty cool. Let's see if we can grab some weather.
Scattered 4,000 feet. Temperature 9. Dew point 5 QNH 1000. Recent showers of rain.
Lovely.
Nozig.
6 hours.
Advise on initial contact. You have information Foxtrot.
We're 6 hours behind live time, because I've downloaded all the scenery today, which is pretty cool.
This is EIDW information Foxtrot. At time 1730 Zulu. Expect ILS approach runway 28 left in use. Runway 28 left in use. Transition level 65. Wind 240 degrees 12 knots. Gust 22 knots. Variable between 200 and 280 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Clouds. Few at 1,800 feet. Few at cumulonimbus 2,200 feet. Scattered 4,000 feet.
Oh,
Temperature 9. Dew point 5 QNH 1000. Recent showers of rain. Nozig. Advise on initial contact. You have information Foxtrot.
Excellent. So we copied information. Oh no, it's on box one there. We copied information Foxtrot. Typical day in Ireland. Winds 240, 12, gusting 22. Worst case is 200, so we could have up to a 22 knot crossing for takeoff there. 10k temperature 9 degrees, and the QNH is 1000. So we'll set 1000 now. There we are, and that's indicating the elevation should be around 250 feet. Yeah, we are 260. That's close enough. Right, so we've got that set. I don't have any OPT data for the 600, but I spoke to ZIBO, and ZIBO told me that all of the variants have the correct speeds and thrust settings in N1 settings as well, which is pretty cool. And you'll see the V speeds on in the 600 are much lower than in the 800 because it is a smaller, lighter aircraft. Turn up the lighting here slightly. There we go. Time to load up the flight management computer. So let's go to FMC. Latest AIRAC is installed. You can see we've got the 737-600, and we are in Dublin, which is Echo India Delta Whiskey. And we'll put our GPS left coordinates in, and we are flying to Eindhoven, which is Echo Hotel, I think. It's been a while since we streamed it here. Well, like I said, the only time we've done it, we didn't quite make it, unfortunately. But there we are, that is correct. Our call sign today, we are going as Alpaca. We're Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Now, the reason I chose this call sign is that VATSIM Holland are hosting the event today, and they did actually have a booking system. I don't think they just said you feel free to arrive during the event. You don't need to actually book, and there's no time slot. And there was actually a Dublin to Eindhoven Ryanair flight. It was Ryanair 9 Foxtrot Bravo, so I booked on as that, and I went Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So we do technically have a slot, which is pretty good, just to ensure that we get hopefully straight in. Departing from Dublin then, 28 left, and it will be a Dexon 1 Alpha for us. And from Dexon, here's our routing, Upper Yankee 124 to Ampit. And from Ampit, we've got Lima 15 to Honolly. And there's Papa 155 to Sivda. From Sivda, Papa 137 to Redfa. Then with the Dutch. And from Redfa, it's the Redfa 4 Echo. So Redfa 4 Echo, it's going to be runway 21 most likely. Let's go for X-ray, and it's probably going to be the IPTAS to Foxtrot transition. I'm just going to modify the arrival slightly here, so you'll see we might have IPTAS. We just need to go from IPTAS to Echo Hotel 567. So where 567 is, I think we do 582. Need to look at the plan page just to work this out, because the arrival, sometimes stars sort of differ from the transition. So you see how the star terminates over the airfield. We're not actually going to be, probably not going to be flying that. So we just want to go from the star, which is Tupac, to IPTAS. And then you see where IPTAS is again. Go 582. Put that after IPTAS. and that's probably the most likely routing we get instead of flying the full arrival, but we'll confirm with ATC later. Anyway, routing's all in. Activate, and we'll execute that. Bear with me in chat as well. I know there's a lot of questions coming in. I will have time in the cruise here. I'll try and answer what I can. AG Fenaro, wait until he checks out the signs on the back of the cockpit door. I'll have a look at that, AG Ferrari, in a second. Very good. Adam, good evening. I'm new to Explain, trying to learn all the FMC stuff, and I'm going for your videos to do so. Do you ever post your flight plan as PDF somewhere so someone can look at it? Adam, thank you very much. Now, I don't actually post anything prior to the streams. I do run a members Discord. I do send Em a copy of the live stream as well, flight plan, just so they can have a look at it in a bit more detail, but I won't have the time just to upload that on a separate file, but I always upload it to AviTab so we can look for it sort of together during the stream and stuff. But thank you very much. And welcome, and I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. Right, routing's all in. Did we activate it? I think we did. Just execute. Let's look at the performance. So 0 fuel weight, 48.4 tons based off 120 passengers. Reserves today for our alternate is Schiphol. So it's the sum of these two. The reserves will be 2.3 tons to divert there and land with FinRes. Cost index, Alpaca always use 30. We're cruising at 390 today. And top of climb wind is 260 at 62. It's pretty much identical to the average wind, so we'll leave that in. Steep descent after Bestie, we'll look at that later. Execute. Top of climb ISA is 4 degrees. Execute. So first thing to see about the 600, 700 variant, look at the D rates, they're slightly different. For the 800 you get 22, 24, 26. Lower thrust rating on the 600, 700, 22, 20 or 18. Now, I don't have any performance data. I'm going to go full 22k with an assumed temperature of about 40 degrees on the test sector. That worked out okay. Again, I have no accurate data for the 600, so that worked out fine. Takeoff, we'll go flat 5, CG, 22%, 5.5. 5 units coming in, and the V speeds, look how much lower they are than the NG, because we're so much, even though the aircraft's fully loaded, pretty much the V speeds are considerably lower. 127 knots we can set here. So the CG model in the LevelUp aircraft isn't as good as the ZIBO mods. ZIBO's CG model is quite detailed in depth. It's something that ZIBO and Twerkster got around sort of getting all ready and sorted, well, it was over a year ago as well. So the ZIBO mod has sort of a much more realistic real centre of gravity. It actually moves with the load and with the fuel burn, and each fuel tank has accurate CG positions. I've noticed in this aircraft, sometimes when takeoff it feels quite out of trim. The real aircraft can be like that as well sometimes, but you know, it will need fine tuning in time. But for the average simmer, it's not really anything to worry about there. So onto the overhead panel, your dampers on, nav transfer, display switches, and normal auto fuel. There you go, you can hear the fuel pumps coming on. It wouldn't be quite as loud as that in the cockpit, but you can probably hear it because the door's open. That might actually be why. No fuel in the centre tank, cabin utility eye, feed galley powers on. These are closed. Turn up the panel lighting slightly. Seatbelt sign is on. Imagine the cabin is secure. We've already tested the attend button. Window heat can come on. Probably off at this stage. Shanty ice off. Doors are open because we're still boarding. And here, so the air conditioning system, very, well, I say very, it's slightly different to the 800. So you use it in the auto mode, and the packs will provide the correct temperature. You have these air mix valves instead of a mixed manifold, but I'm not that clued up on the system. So we'll leave it in auto, and hopefully it'll provide the correct temperature for all the passengers. Recirc fan, only one recirc fan in the 600 and 700, so we'll leave that in auto. Packs auto as well. Cruising at 390 elevation, it's 74 feet in Eindhoven, so we'll leave that at 50. And we'll set that to steady. Onto the MCP, flight directors are on. We haven't got the clearance yet. We can expect to stop climb at flight level 90. We set at my operator 91. That reminds us we don't have the clearance. Let's grab the airport charts here. Just set the runway QDM. So 28 left, it's 277. The Aerosoft scenery is quite outdated. It is their version 2. It hasn't been updated for 4 and 5 years. Dublin's going through a lot of changes at the moment. They're building a new runway, hence why it's 28 left. But a lot of the taxi names and stand numbers have all changed, which is not replicated in the scenery. I do like Aerosoft sceneries. They don't really keep them up to date. Once they release it and that's it, which is a shame. But hopefully they'll perhaps release it when the second runway in Dublin opens, so that'll be pretty cool. Courses and runway heading set to the runway QDM. Our taxi guys, we're on stand 314, I think it's 304 on the scenery. We'll push back to either Golf or Hotel, exit via Link 3 or Link 2, and then quite a short taxi for us, runway 28 left. And the SID is a Dexon 1 Alpha. It's an RNAV SID, and for us, initial climb clearance is 90, which we set on the MCP. It says climb straight ahead off 28 left to Oscar Echo. So Oscar Echo is an NDB 316. We can tune that as backup. Turn that up here, 316. Make that active. We can select ADF. You can see, look, the needle's pointing straight towards it, which is pretty cool. Oscar Echo is identified, and once we get to Oscar Echo, we're going to make a left turn inbound to Dexon. So here we go, Dexon. We're going to be at 120 above at that point, which is set Oscar Echo flyover waypoint, so 3,000 feet above checks as well. And just for that steep initial turn, because I don't want to overshoot that, we'll set 220 knots at Dexon. And once the turn's complete, we can delete that restriction in the FMC. There we are. I think we're all set almost. Auto brake to RTO, reset the fuel flow, speed N1 reference bugs are in auto, FMC is all set, and all looking hunky-dory down there. There we go. Nice, I love the 600s, my favourite at even trades. It's very cool, very short and stubby. Andrea, wow, it's so cold in here. What is wrong with this aeroplane? Anyway, Happy New Year, Captain. Well, we'll get things warmed up shortly. Mark, also Bird Strike was mentioned, but don't think they would have performed a go-around for that. Not sure what you're referring to there. I think I'm out of a sync with a conversation you're having. Well, actually, if you have a Bird Strike on short final, the recommended procedure is to continue the approach. The reason is, if you fly for a flock of birds and ingest birds through the engine, if you then decide to go around, and don't get me wrong, go around is always an option, but if you have damage to the fan blades through bird ingestion, you then set go around power, higher N1, higher EGTs, you could damage the engine further. So the actual recommendation is, if stabilised, continue the approach to land, which is quite important as well. Duncan, for your information, Dublin is not doing SIDS at the moment in VATSIM. Oh, okay, probably just climb straight ahead or after X amount of miles, radar vector departure or something. We'll have a listen out for that. Cool, so we'll grab the clearance now. Ground's online, there's no clearance frequency. And we're due off in 5 minutes. We're doing okay for time. We'll talk about everything about this flight model, taxiing. There's a few little things I want to highlight. I've already provided feedback to the devs as well, which hopefully, with input from others, they'll have some fixes coming soon, which is pretty cool.
Ground American 24 Charlie at stand 108 Charlie. Request push to start.
Modern Nerd, I'm a final at Dublin. It's very windy. It is windy.
The American calling, say again, stand number?
108 Charlie.
So the volume seems to be working on the
American
pedestal, which is cool.
24 Charlie, push start of the proof, face west, QNH 1000.
QNH 100, push approved. American 24
Many alpacas. Have a safe flight, Captain. Thank you very much, Geordie. Mark Burgess may have been a tail strike on a BA 350 at Heathrow this afternoon during the go-around. That's what I was chatting about. Yeah, go-around tail strikes can be quite dangerous as well because of the speed involved, the closure rate.
Alpha 6 Charlie Bravo, ready for push and start, stand 122.
Hear the APU booting up.
Alpaca 6 Charlie.
So fear with the doors open like they are like this, you would probably hear it.
Hold position, I've got an aircraft that's going to be pushing behind you. I'll be getting the call.
Oh, delivery's just come online actually. That will help out.
Ryder 2089.
Get the doors closed.
Lost 4 November, Zulu Dublin delivery, hello to Eindhoven, second center, 1 out departure, runway 28 left.
That's so cool. When you close the doors and it just makes it a little bit quieter. That's really cool. VSD is working. J-Mime, I've not actually tried it yet. Illusion, are you British? Yes.
Lost 4 November. November Zulu, read back correct. You can advise fully ready on this frequency for push and start.
Get in here now. Clearance delivery, good day. Alpaca 9er, Foxtrot Bravo. We're on stand 314. Copied information, Foxtrot, QNH 1000, departure clearance to Eindhoven, please.
Alpaca 9er, Foxtrot Bravo, Dublin delivery, hello, clear to Eindhoven. Dexon 1 Alpha departure, runway 28 left. Squawk 6656, airborne frequency, Dublin control 129.175.
Clear to Eindhoven on the Dexon 1 Alpha, runway 28 left. Squawk 6656, when airborne, contact 129.175. Alpaca 9er, Foxtrot Bravo.
Alpaca 9er, Foxtrot Bravo, read back is correct. You can advise fully ready on this frequency for push and start.
We'll go. Excellent. So we've got flight level 90 set on the MCP. We've briefed, set up for the Dexon 1 Alpha. There it is. And we just need to set the squawk, which is 6656. Ah yes, there's a little bit of a bug here. I remember the ZIBO mod having this. It's like a little TCAS roundel in there, but again, that'll be fixed in time. 6656.
Minimums.
There we are. I'll get some
Minimums.
air conditioning on. AP
Approaching
bleed,
minimums.
dual bleed. There we are. Reese Ivan Music, welcome as a member, buddy. Glad you enjoying the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the custom emoji chat. Thank you very much. Welcome on board. Is this better than the ZIBO? So Tails, this is sort of a separate mod to the ZIBO mod, and it has ZIBO systems as well. The flight model is quite a way off at this stage. You'll see shortly, but it's really cool to have the option to fly different variants now, and I think ZIBO will be working with LevelUp, providing feedback and updates, which would be pretty cool. Right, we're doing great for time, look. We're due off in 1 minute, and we'll get a better pushback ordered. Let's connect it first.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
How authentic. Very, very Irish. Johnny, I think ZIBO is better than LevelUp. At this stage, yes, everything from pitch power, drag model, CG, it is like flying an NG 800. You'll see there's a little bit of work, but I must stress this is the release version, the first version, and things will improve, I'm sure, in time. Hello Anthony, afternoon boss, sorry I'm late, hope you got through the opening script without me okay. I managed okay, Anthony. Thank you very much, happy new year to you, my friend. There we are. Loud. Vanguard's becoming a bit of carnage in Dublin.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
It's quite busy. I didn't even ask for ATC, but these poor controllers are probably having quite a nice relaxing New Year's weekend on VATSIM. Broken them already. Excellent. Pushback tinnitus, a little loud. Mason, what's your ETA to Eindhoven, RYR 50 Mike Tango due at 2011? Well, it depends how much of a delay we get here, but around the same time, I should think.
We got the wrong clearance. Alpaca 230, correction, Delta 2300, I have your clearance when you are ready to copy. Ready to copy, Delta 2300. Delta 2300, you're clear to Eindhoven. Dexon 1 Alpha.
Hi Tom, evening, all nothing like some flight deck to sim to make the dishes fly by. Love it.
Dublin control 129.175.
129.75, 6657, Delta 2300, Dexon 1.
Net correction, Delta 2300, just confirmed that correction, airborne frequency 129.175.
175, Delta 2300.
Delta 2300, read back is correct. You can advise when ready for motion start.
Ready for motion start, Delta 2300.
Clearance, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, stand 314, request push to start.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, standby.
There we are, we've got our request in. Welcome. Thanks for subscribing there. Matthew, welcome on board, buddy. Looking good so far. So yeah, you'll see first thing first on this aircraft. When we get taxiing, it is sort of like we're taxiing through custard or gravy or some other viscous product, you name it. It's something the ZIBO mod suffered from at some point.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, contact ground 121.8.
Ground 121.8, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, bye.
1 minute decimal 6, bye-bye.
What has Nightbot done? No! Nightbot, no!
Ryder 1 uniform Delta and sequence contact tower 1
Sorry
minute decimal
guys,
6,
I
bye-bye.
will be doing a giveaway for the A300 again because last stream, that's really embarrassing, last stream,
Alpaca 4 November Charlie and sequence contact tower 1 minute decimal 6, bye-bye.
someone claimed the A300 for the giveaway, won it. He already owns the A300, so I've got an A300 to give away still, which I'll be doing again very soon. Actually, let me just turn that off now. How embarrassing! So sorry, no.
Spirit 831, you have my frequency.
Oh, I
It's
always check that as well.
Spirit 831, can you pull onto the stand to your left?
Tell you what, guys, I'll give away a copy of the level up. How about that?
Contacting ground north from 125.9 for speedbird
Disabled.
831 heavy.
Nightbot, go away, you
Ryder
drag.
3521 taxi Foxtrot 1 Echo 1 hold short runway 28 left. EC24 Papa Romeo, push and start of the proof facing south QNH 1000.
Dublin ground, good evening, Alpaca 9 of Foxtrot Bravo, stand 314, request push and start.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, hold position, I'll have push for you in approximately 5 minutes.
Roger. 5 minutes, guys, so whilst that's going on, I've got to turn VATSIM down slightly, but still loud enough so I can hear it. That's the case with these busy VATSIM events sometimes. Well, busy Alpaca Airways turning up on a live stream event. What was I going to say? So, let's talk about the aircraft. You'll notice when we're taxiing, we need a lot of thrust, and also if you reduce thrust to idle, it's as if you're braking lightly. That wouldn't be the case in the aircraft, you know, 40, 50 ton machine, a lot of inertia, it won't just stop, so that's something that needs to be fixed. The flight model then, guys, it does need a little bit of tweaking, but before we talk about the flight model, one thing they really need to sort out is the input of the flight controls. Now, the FlyJSim 737-200 it suffers from this. I don't have the LDU display here, but I'll get it for the flight controls. In the real aircraft, when you make inputs as quick as this, as I'm making here, believe it or not, the aileron, elevator and rudder move at the same rate as the input you're making. It's quite phenomenal, really. You think about a pressure of 3,000 psi going through the system.
Can you make it a very short push?
For Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, we can keep apron taxiway 4 clear.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, push and start approved, facing south QNH 1000.
Push start approved facing south QNH 1000, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Well, we'll talk about it later, but we'll do it when the flight control.
Ground cockpit, show us where you want to go there.
So it was a short push facing south, but in reality you'd go all the way over here. What I might do is a bit of a... what I'm going to do is sort of push, so I'm keeping link 3 clear. So what I'm going to do is this. I hope this works. Better pushback doesn't have a wobbly. If we do that, look. Right, let's do something like that. I know it's not facing straight, but it's not liking that.
I see you now. Ryder 1975 taxi Bravo 1 Echo 1 hold short runway 28 left.
Just so we can keep the taxiway clear behind. There we go. Fingers crossed, guys, this works.
Right, the tower's been connected and the bypass pin's been inserted. You can release the parking brakes when you're ready.
Packs off, anti-collision light on, transponder out off, parking brake released.
And
away.
Stand pushback, and you may start your engines there when you're ready.
Let me show you the flight controls, and you wouldn't be doing this during pushback. But if I pitch up aggressively here, look at the delayed response. So full up, it takes about 1.5 seconds for the elevator to move to the correct position. In reality, it would be instantaneous. Same with the ailerons. Look, if I go full left now, poof, takes about 0.5 seconds. Full right, takes about 1.5 seconds to get the full lock here. So it's way too slow at the moment. What does that mean? That means The aircraft is handling what feels like an aircraft 4 times the size. I described it to the guys at Discord like it's like flying in a B-52. Very delayed response in roll, pitch and yaw at the moment, and hopefully all they need to do is increase the speed at which the flight controls react. In reality, in the real aircraft it's instant. Honestly, you do this and the aileron will be shaking at the same rate, which makes the aircraft quite responsive. So it's very slow in pitch, roll and yaw at the moment. Hopefully they'll fix that. Right, starting engine number 2.
Contact 7 Hotel Lima, contact tower, call sign only 12,
Sort of do a little bit of a wiggle here, but keep the taxiway clear.
Ryder 1975, hold link 1 and then taxi behind
Head 1
and
oil pressure 25%.
Short of link 1 and then taxi behind the alpaca.
Ryder 1975, contact tower
1. So Sonic it out, launch engine number 2.
Easy 2 Papa Romeo taxi
246,
right, 3,
and this should be about 300 kilos an hour. It's burning 1600. So again, this is. I saw a post by the LevelUp team. They haven't really adjusted the thrust N1 curve. There's a lot of limitations they explain with thrust N1 curves. This is burning about half the amount of fuel.
Right, the operation has been complete. Get set to park and brake when you're ready.
But in flight, the fuel flow is much more
Right,
realistic.
disconnecting the towel. Stand by.
You're very jovial. So yeah, it's a little bit low on the ground, but in flight the fuel flow is pretty good. But a little bit low on the ground. Starting 1. N2. There's N1 and oil pressure.
7 Hotel Lima, you went frequency zone.
There we go, so we kept the
Alpaca 197.
taxiway clear for the easy. Look at alpacas everywhere! That's wicked. 1, 2, 3 alpacas flying ahead, pushing back at the same time. Very cool.
Right, the towel is disconnected. The bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Good luck.
Good luck. Typical Irishman. See you later.
Easy 2 Papa Romeo, hold short of link 1, you'll be behind the rider.
Well, there's the Alpaca Airways pushback and tug. We'll just do the full taxi flow now, in reality. I love the clicks of the buses. Very cool. Generators on AP. Start switches, probes, sensors not needed. And flaps to 5. Flight controls, forwards, back, left, and right. Here comes the rudders, full right and full left, recall, and we then read the full taxi checklist, which you can find on top of the glare shield. Slight little texture issue, which I think they'll fix in time. There we are, all good to go. So we've just pushed back here, we're on the link taxi. Well look, good luck. Guys, so many of you in here this evening, nearly 900 people watching. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday evening here with me. If you are enjoying the video, big favour is to ask you to like the video. It helps out the video a lot and the channel. Thank you very much for your consideration.
622, push stars approved, QNH 1000. Not approved, QNH 1000, East Clark 62.
It's busy. A little bit of a queue at the whole point.
American 24 Charlie, taxi link 5, right, Papa 1, hold short, runway 16.
Taxi link 5, Papa 1, hold short, runway 16.
Packet 6 Charlie Bravo, contact tower 118.6, call sign only.
So busy.
Contact tower, call sign 118.
To be fair, there's not
Easy 24 Papa Romeo.
much point asking for taxi because there's a shamrock in front of us there blocking us. There you go, he's just requested taxi. Well, some Shamrock has, presumably.
Shamrock 13 X-ray taxi link to Foxtrot 1 and hold short runway 2 inland.
And Alpaca 9 at Foxtrot Bravo request taxi.
Back at 9 Foxtrot Bravo behind the Shamrock A321 in front. Taxi Link 2 Fox 1 Echo 1 hold short 28 left.
Behind the Shamrock, taxi, Link 2 Fox 1 Echo 1 hold short 28 left. Outback 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Excellent, so turn off and taxi, release parking brake, we'll do the config check. There we are. Make sure the takeoff config warning doesn't sound, and we'll set about 30%.
And that's a call sign only as well.
And you'll notice it's just very slow to move. I mean, this is lighter than the NG.
Not 4 November Zulu, can you make that left turn onto Bravo?
We're very slow to accelerate. If I go idle, the aircraft stops. Now, if you really want to test how it's a bit of an issue, if you actually go anywhere in this aircraft at the moment and find somewhere that's slightly downhill, you'll see it stops accelerating whilst pointing downhill. It's something the BAE 146 from Just Flight suffered from when I tested that prior to a stream, and they rectified that. So I don't know if it's a braking coefficient issue or wheel coefficient issue or a thrust issue, but if I go idle now, it just slows down. This would be like I'm braking very lightly, and it'll actually come to a stop. In reality, you really need to use brakes to stop, unless you're going uphill. Just a little bit
American 24 Charlie, taxi left onto 16 hold
too much thrust required to taxi at the moment. Like I said, it's like taxiing through treacle.
Shamrock 13 X-ray hold short of Link 1.
Look how busy it is.
And 13 X-ray, you'll be letting that Ryanair in front of you out ahead, or to the left out ahead, if that's okay.
So there's Link 2, and then we're just following the Shamrock. Wow. I wish they had the second runway open. Right. We are behind Shamrock, so going back to idle, and I won't need to touch the brakes, it'll slow down sufficiently on its own. Oh my goodness me. So we're probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for departure. I think it'll be another 10-15 minutes, but we could talk about the aircraft, and if you have any questions about the aircraft, pop it in chat.
Lot 4 November Zulu, hold sharp behind the Ryanair, and I'll have send you returns in.
There we go.
Ryanair 80 Romeo, taxi left onto 16, hold sharp 28 left.
Very nice.
Alpaca 85, taxi right, Link 5, Papa 1.
Swap files, how do you get the Honeywell MCP? It's an option, same in the ZIBO mod, in the settings. You can change between the Collins and the Honeywell MCP. John Christie, is CPDLC working? No, I doubt it, 'cause it's not yet in the ZIBO mod. Martin, when will the flying director show on the PFD? When you push Toga?
Behind the Alpaca 737-800 to your left.
Ethan Bleeker, thank you very much for $5. Just got the alerts muted there, but I really appreciate it. Happy New Year, Captain. Thanks for all the entertaining streams over the last year. Glad to be catching one live for the first time in a while. Thank you very much, Ethan, coming in from the US. Hope you're doing very well, and I hope you had a great New Year's as well. Thank you very much for your generosity, sir. Appreciate it. Dennis, what happens if you forget to set takeoff timer in real life? It's not a big deal. You can just sort of have a rough idea of what time you took off at. But there's two of us, usually at least one of us has done it correctly. Harry, how do you get rudder inputs to the same as nose wheel?
Can you make that left onto Bravo 1?
So, it's under customization, is it hardware? There we are, nose will access to your, it's on roll by default for some reason. Matt Burgess, will the 7.3 pitch the flight directors down if you had a 0000 outside of the MCP? Good question, I don't think so. They'll command nose up at 20 degrees, but maybe once you get climbing it'll throw a bit of a wobbly. I've never tried it.
Ground, Alpha 5, Victor Alpha, Link 4.
Come on, Shamrock.
Alpaca 5, Victor Alpha, hello.
J-Mo, does it have terrain radar? Yeah, so long as you've got the terrain plugin installed, I think you'd have the terrain radar. There you go. I should give Jim some terrain radar. Actually, we've got a new voice in here. It's like a British man providing feedback. Adam Wallace, doing your PPL, how frequently should what? Should you be flying? Don't know. But good luck with your PPL, sir. if you are currently doing it. Looks like passenger in South America.
Alpaca 5, Victor Alpha, actually disregard taxi left onto Foxtrot.
A lot there as well, but obviously look, there's aircraft coming in as well at the same time, which is hampering
Alpaca 5,
departures.
Victor Alpha, taxi Foxtrot.
There's 2 aircraft on final there.
Echo 1, hold short runway 28 left.
Brand of sea, using default weather engine or something else, so I use Active Sky for the weather plugin, which is an absolute must for me in X-Men 11. The default weather engine X-Men 11 isn't great, it's okay, but the way it deals with variable winds and gusting winds isn't that realistic. So Active Sky, it depicts the METAR and plugs it into the weather quite into X-Men 11 quite realistically. The clouds are texture set, payware texture set, $15, very reasonably priced, called Enhanced Skyscapes, which makes the clouds look very realistic, much more realistic than default. In foggy conditions though, don't really like it. They need to work on how fog is represented in the sim with Enhanced Skyscapes. Drew Blaze, what airline are you flying now, and what do you fly for in real life? Fly the 737-800. I don't discuss my operator in chat. My operator is well aware of my channel. They give me full permission to stream, which I'm extremely grateful for, and it's a personal choice not to discuss my employment details. Thank you for your understanding.
Echo 1, hold short 28 left.
Mode rounds, can you explain what are autothrottle modes? I mean, there is ARM and other ones. What is the difference between them? But they're all different modes. I mean, on takeoff, you arm it.
9, Foxtrot Bravo, hold short of link 1, there'll be 1 aircraft in front of you.
Holding short of link 1, back to 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So we've got a hold short here, unfortunately. Probably the lot. So when I push toga, you'll get the climb, the N1 thrust setting. You get throttle hold at 84 knots, which means the autothrottle is disconnected from the thrust lever. And then you usually climb, use different modes with different FMA settings. But essentially, it's monitoring the FMA. I've never in the NG selected N1 or speed. I've never actually pushed these buttons. You just let the light illuminate with whatever mode you're using. I've never actually selected them. Brendan, ZIBO V this add-on. The ZIBO mod is still considerably further ahead with regards to how it handles. It's far more realistic. The aircraft flight model on this needs a lot more development and work, but the aesthetics, the visuals, the textures, the sounds, I prefer the LevelUp. Bill Scanlan, how do you pause alerts? Well, that's a Streamlabs setting, so I just have a little alert box which for Streamlabs I can turn off, and then I turn the alert muted. They're just little PNG images up here. It just highlights that if you were to make a donation or a membership, it won't ping up. Usually I have it on below 10,000 feet during critical phases where I want to be listening to ATC and things like that. It just makes it a little bit more enjoyable. I mean, some of you guys go absolutely crazy and it's pinging off left, right and centre like it was at the start of the stream. And for some people who want to watch and sort of learn from my streams, I think it's a little bit distracting. So for critical phases, I turn it off. During the cruise, it's a bit quiet, so I turn it on, and the setup as well. Drew Plays, I should fly an Air Force air refueling plane. Very cool. It's Roman. Why don't pilots calculate headwind and crosswind using go side to side? I haven't had to do that since my ATPL. When you're hand flying an aircraft with a 35 knot crosswind, your speed's bouncing up between VREF and VREF plus 20, and you're looking at the runway out of this window instead of this one. I haven't got time to start working that out. We're very fortunate with the fact that the OPT app, we can quickly punch the V speed or the wind speed in order to know the runway, and it'll give you the crosswind and headwind component. We also have a little cheat sheet on one of the checklists as well, and on our iPad, so you can just simply look at the angle difference between the runway QDM and the runway, the wind direction speed. It tells you crosswind components. Love it. L. Smith, when's the Yoke going? Got one on Christmas Eve, and it's awesome. Plan is Friday, guys. Friday, I'll do my inaugural Yoke Cam stream in the ZIBO mod. Got a few streams lined up for next week. I'm actually on a bit. I've got unpaid leave this week. It's part of the agreement with COVID. We agreed during the winter months to take 1 week each month unpaid, which I think is fair. Well, I don't like it, but we have to do it, sort of thing. But it gives me an opportunity to stream, so I'm quite grateful for that. Sergio, where you download the old style autopilot panel? That's always a common question there. I showed it earlier, it's in the settings here. You can just select between the Honeywell and the Collins MCP. So remember, we've got to hold short, we'll just taxi forward, of link 1. I wish I put a bit more taxi fuel on board.
5, Papa 1, left on runway 16.
So actually, much closer on that. That's a bit too close. In reality, the flight plan system we use, Lido, and my operator, is very accurate, and they will take into account sort of peak times at airports. So if I have a look here on the flight plan, you'll see your allocated taxi fuel. By default in SimBrief it's 10 minutes, I usually use 15, and it's allowed for 170 kilos of fuel. Now if I was to take off from one of our busiest bases at rush hour, let's say for example if I was going to take off from Madrid or Barcelona, it would actually have an increased taxi fuel amount, because they know your taxi can be 25 minutes plus there, so it'll actually be incorporated into the flight plan and also into your block fuel, so you'll have more of a block fuel. You've got to remember that you can't push back with less fuel than that, you can't take off with less fuel than that. If you're going to see that you're going to take off with less than that, you have to go back on set and get more fuel. But that's very rarely an issue, unless you had delays like this and you weren't expecting them. Hello Jules, hi Captain, how are you doing? How would you rate the level up in comparison to the normal ZIBO? This is going to be asked a lot today, I fear. ZIBO is ahead. Obviously the flight model is the best part of 4 years of work from ZIBO and Twerkster, and input from people like myself who fly the aircraft, and pitch and power settings are pretty much spot on. Now I'll show you today throughout various phases of flight how the flight model's a little bit off at the moment. Too much drag. You can't really do idle thrust descents at the moment with VNAV because there's too much drag, so the thrust keeps coming up. We'll look at some pitch and power settings, what they should be and what we're getting in the level up as well. But if you just want to fly a different variant of the 737 in your desktop sim, for casually it's fine, but it's quite a difficult aircraft to hand fly at the moment, as we discussed earlier. Just pop outside. It's actually a little bit quieter. Look at this, it's just carnage. The inputs here, it's a shame we can't see the flight controls as well, but I'm fully forward now. Let me just go full up, straight away full up. It's about 2 seconds for the elevator to get up there. In reality it is instant, and that is having a big effect on how the aircraft handles at the moment. It's like I said, it's like you're flying a B-52, it feels like that. Same in roll, full left. If I go over here to the right wing, so we can look at the air on the right hand wing, if I go full right, just time it, it's just look at the time it takes. There you go, full left, full right. It's about 1.5 seconds. All you need to do is be a passenger on an aircraft, or look at any video on YouTube of an aircraft landing in crosswind conditions with the wing view, and you look how quickly the aileron's moving on any aircraft, 737 in this case. You'll see it's moving very quickly, and they're moving at the same speed as the inputs are being made on the flight controls. Paul Shoesmith, if you know you're having a 25-30 minute taxi, would you ever single engine taxi to save fuel? At my operator Shuey, we only do single engine taxi after landing. It is not approved here at our operator, so you do have to taxi out with 2 engines. If you were sort of here and agency said, look, you're not moving anywhere for 15 minutes or more, you'd probably consider starting the APU and shutting the engines down. That could be an option, but that would be sort of this sort of delay like this would be, say, someone's collapsed the nose gear on the runway or something. Hello Lars, late to the show but finally here. Hope everyone is safe and sound, and I'm looking forward to having a look at the mini pig in action. I loved it when you mentioned that in DM the other day, Lars. We are in the mini pig. I think it was a term used by certain pilots for the 737-600. It is so stubby and cute, isn't it? Very nice. So guys, if you just tuned in, we are trying to get out of Dublin. It is extremely busy. It seems a lot of people have tried to join in on this sector, which I absolutely love. So thank you so much if you're actually flying with me today. That's great. We're obviously mixed up in the carnage here. We'll do everything as realistically as possible and get away where we can. And I'll continue to answer as many questions as you have about this aircraft or anything, the 737 in general, where possible. CEG Aviation Travel, what sensitivity are your control settings? It's all at 50%, quite... for me it's fine. You can spend so much time fiddling with those control settings and you need to set them to a certain degree, but I have the control sensitivity at 50% and augmentation on 0, or vice versa. I just don't look at it. It's really important how the aircraft's been built, modelled really, in X-Plane. So we're still holding at Link 1, guys. I think we've got to give way to the lot. Hopefully not to, who's the one behind there, the Delta, which is a long way from home. But hopefully we'll get our way as soon as possible. Pangol is so much wing. Oh, did Adam Wallace 09, I'm so sorry I missed your donation X. The alerts are muted there. Thank you very much for your £1.79. How often should I fly when doing my PPL ideally? Great question there, Adam Wallace. So I started my PPL when I was 16 years old or 17, I can't remember, and I was trying to juggle at that time my A-levels, a part-time job, working at a local supermarket and learning to fly, and something had to give because I ran out of time. And when you're 17, 18 years old, your interests are far more preoccupied with more, you know what I mean. So I gave up the flying until I finished school, and then when I finished my A-levels, I then carried on with my PPL, and then when I did that, I was getting a lesson every week, if possible 2 or 3, because I had much more time to commit to it. I think as a minimum you want to be doing 1 every 2. If you do it longer than that, you can forget things. Obviously life gets in the way, of course, but if you keep in the books between your lessons, you shouldn't have too many issues. But best of luck with your PPL, sir. Thank you very much for your donation. A massive nerd, because I took my 50 minutes of extra fuel looking at the traffic. Yeah, I only took 30 minutes, guys. That could be interesting later. We'll have a look when we get there. We push back with, what was it, 6, I can't remember now, was it 6.6? How much have we used? Oh, one thing that's quite good is the fuel flow is a bit too low. So we left, it was 6.4, wasn't it? And we burnt... oh, look at that, yeah, hardly. We would have burnt more in reality for sure. We've only burnt 150. Would have been about 300 kilos burnt at this stage. That controller's gone very quiet now. I don't know if it's changed. Quick traffic jam question, Captain. Do you ever get issues with delays when flying to airports that aren't open 24/7? What do you do in that situation? Divert or arrive late? Great question, Tom F. So certain airports have curfews, and if we see that, if we're say delayed and the curfew could be an issue, ops will usually be ahead of the game here, and they'll give us a flight plan with a high cost index, so we can actually get there before the curfew starts. There might be some, really depends on what airport you're flying into, why there is a curfew. There might be some leniency there, so they might just go, look, if you're airborne by this time, we'll let you come in. Otherwise, you've got to divert, and I've actually had to do that before. I had to divert down routes because of the weather, and I diverted, and we had to bus the passengers. Took about 3 hours, and it meant that my home base airport was actually closed for maintenance work at midnight, and we took off. We knew we were not going to make it, so we actually planned to divert before we got airborne. It was awful for the passengers, because obviously they had to get bused to a different airport, and then we had to divert. But these things are just outside our control sometimes. So there we go. Base cubing, why are you still on the ground? Well, actually, you can't see it there, but it might have something to do with this. And there was many more beforehand. I mean, to a degree with streams, you know, just to keep people on the road. Sometimes I'll log off, but I like to try to stay on and be part of the crowd. Hello, Ludo Web. I'm watching the stream live on the 777 between Heathrow and San Francisco. Amazing, Ludo Web. Have a safe flight. What's your flight number? I'm sure some people we could look you up. Amazing.
Can you repeat one more time the stand? Wizard 1190.
John, don't need extra fuel. We're okay at the moment. We took quite a lot extra for holding in Eindhoven. Hopefully we're getting okay. Oh dear. Robin K, interestingly enough, the Airbus flight controls do have a bit of delay, but I don't think as much as the level up. Yeah, I've always noticed that with the Airbus. There is, in the real aircraft, a bit of a delayed movement, isn't there, with regards to aileron, especially on the 320. And I remember seeing that Airbus, as a BA Airbus, landing in, I think it was Gibraltar, and they hit some sort of wind shear or microburst or something, and you can see the aircraft rocking, and the aileron sort of moving very slowly in response to that. Obviously, it's not an issue.
Echo 1, hold short, runway 28 left.
Oh, crikey, wing down. There's a Ryanair. Ooh, that one's... oh, it's the new levitating 737. The 737 Supermax. Why has he got his gear up? Oh dear. I'm...
Ryanair 2538, enter left, runway 34,
quite firm,
hold
can see
short, runway
there.
28 left. Enter and left on
is that XCSL or Bluebell? Bluebell, I use.
runway 28 left. Ryanair 2538.
Pocket 85, fortunately going to disconnect. Thank you for...
I'll back it down. He's too much of a delay.
Okay, 5 no worries, see ya.
Who's behind me? Is it oh, we've got a number of aircraft behind us. Oh my, oh my. Hello, 0 Point. My father used to work at Pratt & Whitney in New York, and for a brief time in Vermont, he used to bring home jet fuel. When they would take it all out of the planes, he used to put it in the oil boiler. Worked well. Very cool, 0 Point. Very nice. Saw Spitfire. Boeing's new max landing only appears when given approval from Boeing head office. Brilliant. Richard C, I think this is real life. I'd have got bored by now, gone back to the gate, offloaded the passengers and gone to the bar for a swift one. My longest ever taxi, I remember it well, was in Barcelona, and there'd been an incident or something, the runway was closed, and lots of aircraft were pushed back. Barcelona is just one of the busiest airports in Europe at peak times. And we pushed back, and no word of a lie, we were like number 17 or 18 for departure, and it took 1 hour 10 minutes from pushback to get airborne. We planned for that. We took an extra 600 kilos of fuel just for taxiing, and we used all of it pretty much.
Not 4 November Zulu, monitor tower 118 decimal 6 bye.
Hopefully we're behind the lot. Hopefully we'll get a departure today, guys. Oh my goodness me. I wasn't expecting this at all. Are all these aircraft going to Eindhoven as well? Let me have a look at the VATSIM map. Many aircraft going to Eindhoven. And Eindhoven, a small military civil airport with 1 runway. Arumus, can you pop up screens? No. Jenny, was it Elprat or Reyes? Elprat. Michael Foster, just disconnect and reconnect in the air. Considering that now, guys. Really considering that. Just because I know a lot of you are watching and we don't have the time to sit here all the time. Poll it? I don't know. Shamrock is off to Boston. Very cool. Lizard Doggo, how do pilots deal with work-life balance? Well, at the moment,
Ryanair 10 Golf, monitor tower 118.
January, February is looking much quieter, but it's like with any job, you just accommodate it. The thing is, it's an unsociable job, so you work.
Back at 9er Foxtrot Bravo, taxi Echo 1, hold short, runway 34, and 28 left.
Echo 1, and hold short, so wait, 28 left, 34, now back at 9, Foxtrot Bravo. It's a bit too much thrust there. Anyway, guys, we might be... I don't know what's happening with these 2 Ryanairs. It's the first time we've moved in a while. Anyway, we must actually do the before takeoff checklist. What time did we push back? About 35 minutes ago. Set the parking brake. Right, let's do the before takeoff checklist. So config we checked. Flaps we've got. 5 green light. Snapshot 5.5 units set. Takeoff briefing. Pax auto bleeds on. V-speed set for departure. We have 118, 119, 127 set. The departure is the Dexon 1 Alpha. Straight ahead to the Oscar Echo. NDB, then left turn direct Dexon. Stop climb flight level 90.
Alpha 9 Foxtrot Bravo, monitor tower 118.6, bye-bye.
Monitor tower 118.6, South Packer 9 Foxtrot, Bravo, bye-bye.
Winds 250 degrees, 12 knots, gust 22 knots, runway 28
Nice
left.
and windy. NADP 290, and when we're airborne we've got a contact, departures 129175. That's reviewed, and imagine the cabin is secure. Checks complete. Nearly there, guys, nearly there. Ferry de Foul, Eindhoven only has 14 parking stands. Oh dear. Currently, are you joking? 79 arrivals into Eindhoven. Oh no. Oh dear. There is our 600 anyway. Oh, look at that. There's a Ryanair landing. So busy. John Christie faking push at 12:36. That was 32 minutes ago we pushed back, guys. Hack on, what's the field of vision set to? 105, 105. Rate kick, come on, smash that like button. Absolutely, so many likes, guys. Thank you. We're not even airborne yet. Appreciate it, buddies. I get the cost index up, Captain. Trying to get there first. Yeah, actually, so many 737s. Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's all 73s. Actually, what's that there? Is that an Embraer? We'll let him off. It's not an Airbus in sight. A Concorde. Someone's in the Alpaca Concorde. Amazing. Didn't see that every day. Yeah, they're all 73s. Just the way I like it. Peter, how's the RTX 2080? Amazing. What's the FPS right now? 70 FPS. Yeah, really, really happy with this PC.
Tower, good evening, it's the WestJet 1690, the ILS runway 28 left.
Actually, WestJet, they fly to Dublin, don't they? I don't know. It's WestJet Canadian. Illusion, have you ever been to Cork Airport? Can I confirm or deny? Enes, Captain, can you show that how the standby instrument changes? Yes, would you like to have a look at the settings? You can actually hear the standby altimeter little vibrator in there which stops all the needles sticking. I actually did a YouTube Shorts video of that in slow motion, which a lot of you found quite interesting, but you should hear that turn off. If I go to configuration, display variants, which one? Systems maybe? There we are. No, and you can hear the clicking stopped, and there is the ISFD. And yeah, I quite like the analog one though. It's old school, and I quite like the 600 in the old school sort of setup. So we've got the standby instruments, the older Honeywell MCP, looks cool. OPEX is the 7373. Yeah, absolutely free to download. Just search on Google Threshold 737 LevelUp download. I'm sure that will be correct. Is that a lot getting its line-up clearance?
What's that 16, expect late landing clearance?
Just going to get a late landing clearance, but can't see him yet. There's Lot. Getting there. Blade 929 on early takeoff roll. Why the slight forward control column pressure? Is it to give the front wheel more steering grip until the rudder becomes more effective? That is you've answered your own question there, Blade. You've answered your own question.
Lot 4 November Zulu, surface wind 250 degrees, 12 knots, gust 26 knots, runway 2 left cleared, immediate takeoff.
How tight has he left it with the WestJet, I wonder. Guys, do accept my apologies, but I mean, tell me, actually, a bit of feedback. Obviously, I don't want to disconnect unless I have no choice, and I'd probably stay offline for the whole sector, but it gives me an opportunity to chat with you guys. At least it's a critical phase of flight. We'd be not talking, but it gives you an opportunity to have a chat with me, I suppose. Taxi stream, yay! Brilliant list of it. There's that WestJet. Can't see him. Oh, there he is. Where's his gear? Concerning. That's cool. Look at that.
WestJet 16, represent 240 degrees, 15 knots, gust 26 knots, runway 28 left, clear to land.
Clear left, clear to land.
JJ's like it doesn't happen too often. No, it doesn't, to be fair. We've got this far, yeah, I'm not disconnecting now. Molky, what's your destination? Eindhoven, Echo Hotel, Echo Hotel. He's also got the new 737 hoverjet without the gear. He's going incredibly slowly as well. Ooh. It's quite windy here, to be fair. Oh, cool, look, you can just see the wind tip.
Alpaca 5, Victor Alpha, holding short, wing 1, Echo 1.
Alpaca 5, Victor Alpha, roger.
Andy, probably best you don't drive round on the ground for too long past we all see
Runner
the
1 Sierra Golf, report fully ready.
Unbelievable.
Sierra Golf is fully ready.
That's the Ryanair. So hopefully, behind the Ryanair, it's number 2 for departure. Everyone's eyes on the WestJet. Looks like he's doing a low pass. No pressure, sir. Yeah, might need your gear down. Yeah, his little VATSIM does it sometimes. I guess he's...
16, welcome to Dublin, vacate right Sierra 5, right Sierra.
Right Sierra 5, right Sierra, WestJet 16.
Actually, maybe he's in a different simulator. I don't know. No, the Ryanair's inconveniently blocking the view. Yeah, probably in a different sim, I don't know. Another hover plane. I don't see sparks. Oh, damn it, there's another aircraft on final.
Good evening, continue approach number 1.
Ryanair 9 miles. Hopefully we'll get away.
Ryanair 1 Sierra Golf, surface wind 240 degrees, 15 knots, gust 26 knots, runway 28 left,
26 knot gusts, brilliant. There's the aircraft on the decks at departure, look, going back round. There's the lot, yeah, that was the hover lot.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, report fully ready.
Fully ready, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, thanks. Behind the departing Ryanair, line up and wait, runway 28 left behind.
Behind the departing Ryanair aircraft, line up and wait behind Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. On our way, guys, finally. Right, lights coming on. Taxi line off to remind us we haven't been
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, cancel line of clearance, hold position.
Hold position, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Uh-oh. So technically I'm on the active runway. I'm actually crossed the line. Probably just looked a little bit too tight.
Taxi Whiskey 1, hold short runway 163.
So he wasn't happy with the
Whiskey 1, short 163.
clearance maps on the space a bit. They're in charge. Parking brake set, and we will do that as well. There we go. Take off. Naughty. What was it? Naughty, naughty. Fired. I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, it's his tower exam as well. Oh my god, I feel so sorry for him. Oh my goodness, he probably wanted a really quiet exam this evening and we absolutely hammered him. Oh, I hope he passes. He's done an amazing job.
Down 203 via
If you saw
Hotel
a
1,
conflict there, you stop me, which is the right thing to do.
WestJet 16.
And that would happen in real life as well. You're so mean in chat, like, fired. You should hand in your resignation after that. Boo-hoo.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, behind the landing Ryanair, Boeing 73, line up and wait, runway 28 left behind.
Behind the landing Ryanair 737, line up and wait, runway 28 left behind Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. There we are. That's like it's quite a small gap there as well. I think he's just trying to keep the show on the roads.
Or should we hang on the tail of the Alpaca?
Hang on my Alpaca.
Negative, continue to hold short.
I'm just going to get everything ready just in case we get an immediate.
Affirmative 62.
It looks, I mean, if I was looking out the window at that, and we were told to line up and wait, oh, blimey, is he coming into London City? Yeah, that is tight between those two aircraft. This guy's doing a London City approach. Crazy.
Delta 2300 behind the east flight. Continue taxi Echo 1 hold short of both runways 34 and 28.
It was a little bit of a stucker approach.
Tower, good evening, runner 1 at Romeo Golf 5 left 28 left 180.
That's that right aircraft got in the background. It's got the TV on. It's quite gusty, remember, it's gusting 26 knots, so you can see he's sort of having to make inputs there to keep it all stable. And we have been cleared to line up and wait behind, so... Tower back at 9 Foxtrot Bravo, just confirm behind the Rhino, very short final now, it's line up and wait behind that aircraft.
I'm back in 9 Foxtrot Bravo, Ava, line up and wait now.
Line up and wait now, back at 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Just wanted to confirm, because it does look tight, but he'll get us away. So, MCP is set, transponder, TARA, strobe lights are on, wait for our takeoff clearance. Nearly there, guys.
Thank you.
Speedy, speedy, go, go. So remember, we're not being cleared for takeoff yet. Just taxi through the treacle and custard. It is very slow. And there you go, idle, look, it's just slowing down on its own. Well, after an hour and 20 minutes, guys, we're on the runway. That's about a 40...
Bravo, filters going 240 degrees, 15 knots, gust 26 knots, cleared immediate takeoff.
Clear immediate takeoff to 8 left, Alpaca 9, Foxtrot Bravo. Toga's in chat, we've been cleared to take off. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Eindhoven and stabilise, set... That's the flat button, wrong button. Set takeoff thrust. There we are, takeoff thrust is set, indications normal.
Taking taxi, whiskey 2, whiskey 3, hold short runway 1634. Whiskey 2, 3, should have 1634, right air,
80 knots.
Checked. Now release the forward pressure.
Rotate.
There we go.
76 Charlie, numbers on the island.
And we're airborne.
Positive rate.
Gears
Gear
up.
up.
And trim. Very quiet fly past. There we go, guys. So just to demonstrate the roll rates at the moment, look, if I make some full inputs, look how slow it is. Full left, full right, the real aircraft. If I, it would be at 90 degrees now. If I did that, we'd be going 90 degrees roll. Very slow. It's like a big B-52. They'll improve that in time. There's commands. Bug up. Just turn the sounds down. Very, very slow in roll rate here at the moment. Same with all the other controls, pitch and yaw, a bit delayed. There's flaps 1. Contact with Marcher shortly. And I think that's about flaps up. Don't like the flap sounds. I prefer the ZIBO flap retraction sounds, far more realistic. Sort of sounds like a toilet flushing. There we are. Dublin, good day, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, Dexon 1 Alpha, passing 3,000 feet, flight level 90.
Alpaca 9 Fox Bravo, Dublin, good day, identified, turn left direct Dexon, climb flight level 230.
Direct to Dexon now, climb flight level 230, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So, 230 sets.
Runner 1525, turn right, heading 270.
Left turn, execute. Set standard VNAV. Passing 46 flight level 230 after takeoff. Check this. So gears off, water brakes off, and start switches can come off. Turn off the retracts and taxi light as well. Air conditioning pressurization 1.9, climbing.
Rider 1525, contact Dublin approach 121.1.
Got a black cabin diff. Is that a 600 thing or is that just a texture issue? Well, it's blank on there. I should think it's meant to be white. Set. And we've got standard set 3 times 5, 6, flight level 230. Go full climb. There we are. After takeoff, checklist complete. Run away. Beautiful. Nice 48 knot tailwind. Look at that. This is Ortho 4XP down there. Evergreen, why does Europe use a different transition altitude from the US? Because it's based off, I think, the highest point in the US is around 18,000 feet, so they use it everywhere. In Europe, it varies between 5,000–6,000 feet. Some places it's 12,000 feet. It's all found on the chart. My operator, we set standard as soon as we clear to flight level, regardless of the transition altitude, as soon as you're above 3,000 feet AGL. So on this departure, it is... I use jet chart, so give me a second, guys.
Dublin, g'day. Ran a 3 bar back, inbound, sorry, information due at level 230, just about to descent, clear level 8.
Yeah, 5,000 in.
Rider 3 bar back, Dublin,
a bit of light turbulence.
identified descent flight level 130.
Descend on 130, ran a 3 bar back.
Robert, can we have a tour around the interior cruise? Yes. Guys, how's the sounds? Aircraft a bit loud?
Rider 10 Golf, no further ATC.
Just turn it down slightly.
Unicom, enjoy your flight. Goodbye.
All for 4XP, yes. Zoo level 17 I usually use around the airports. And then we have Orbex True Air as we fly over the UK, and Ortho 4XP around Holland. No boring X-Men 11 textures for my followers. Sounds are good, yeah, the sounds are nice. I do like them. There's Dublin down there. That's a great view. It's super realistic looking out there. Desmo, wave to your house. Good day, sir. Have a nice evening. Bubblegum, winds are always that strong around Dublin, in Ireland generally. It's always windy and wet in Ireland. Oh yeah, 220 knot speed restriction, thank you. Pro pilot streamer here. And also do the pre-cruise checks. There we are. Go up to 288. Very well spotted. I did that on purpose. Right, passing 123230. Pre-cruise checks. Fuel 4 pumps. Wings are balanced by 20 kilos difference. We're arriving with 3.1. We need 2.3 to divert, so about 20 minutes of fuel there. That might change. Might be. It's interesting to see what happens. Lights are off. AP off. 4.2 on the diff. Set. Release the cabin. Recoil. Checks complete. Adding cough on purpose, cough. Yes. Connor, engine sounds were accurate on the level up and the ZIBO. I think I prefer the sounds in this. I like the ZIBO sounds. They're not the same, but they have a sort of immersion to it. What I really prefer in the ZIBO, though, the fly past. So if I do this now, it's very quiet. The ZIBO is like a proper, oh yeah, that's cool. Look, it's like, yeah, it's like I'm a 600. But the ZIBO mod sounds awesome on the fly past.
Runner 3 Bravo Echo, descent flight level 70.
LIP, are the eyebrows really useful on the 7.3? No, I've never flown one with the eyebrow windows. We have them, but they're covered up. And from what I understand, all the pilots that flew with the eyebrow windows, they hated it because the sun
very good evening, Alpaca 6
would come in
Romeo, Nexon 1 Alpha
and be very bright.
Package 6 Oscar Romeo WD identified, turn left direct, blue tip, climb flight level 230.
So notice already,
left direct, blue tip, climb flight level 230, Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo.
As we climb, look at our climb rate. We are at a gross weight right now of 54 tons, and we've got 93%. I'd expect to be climbing at a higher rate, and again, we were discussing at the start here, the drag model is a little bit off, and I know it is because in descent, VNAV is a little bit... The VNAV path is fine, so it'll actually descend accurately for you, a continuous descent, but the speed washes off continuously all the time. And well, look, when you're descending in the 800, there shouldn't be much difference between the 700 and 600, maybe 100 or a couple hundred feet per minute. In the 800, if you descend with idle thrust at 250 knots, you should be doing around 1800 feet per minute. I think in this it was nearly 3000. 250 knots with speed break is around 2,300 feet per minute, and again it was way in excess of that as well. So
40,
we'll monitor that.
30,
It definitely
20,
needs peaking.
10.
As you saw on the climb out, the big issue at the moment is flight controls. The delayed response is very sluggish.
Happy New Year, alpacas.
Cheers,
Don't
Pete.
forget to like and subscribe. I'm awaiting the 80k mega charity stream.
Thank you very much, Pete S, for your £10. Really appreciate your support as a member, and your generosity again is really appreciated. Thank you very much. Yes, we've surpassed, I think it was last week or the week before that, 75,000 subscribers, which is a huge, monumental achievement for me personally. So I would like to thank you all for subscribing to the channel. Every 10,000 subscribers on the channel, we do a dedicated charity stream where all the proceeds will go to charity. I very much would like for the next charity stream to have raised over £10,000. If you go to my YouTube homepage, click on the charity stream playlist, I have actually a accumulation of all the money we've raised on the two streams, and it was something like 6,000–7,000. So it is doable. We can raise 10,000. And I do actually have a dedicated flight deck to sim just giving page. I think it's just giving /flight deck to sim or something like that. Yeah, very much looking forward to planning a mega stream.
230, turn left direct to Luton.
Now, everyone in chat, you will see here a comment from...
Minimums.
You'll see a comment
minimums.
here from a chap called Tim Sanders. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the X-Plane 11 community and the ZIBO mod, Tim Sanders is pretty much the individual...
Back at 9 Fox, Bravo, no further ATC. You can continue with Unicom. Enjoy your flight. All the best. Bye-bye.
122.8, thank you so much for the ATC. Back at 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Bye.
Bye.
Tim Sanders, guys, you have him to thank for the incredible flight model in the ZIBO mod. So much input from himself. Tim Sanders, ladies and gentlemen in chat, he has experience flying everything from business jets to 747s, far more experience than I have. And I haven't spoken to him in a while, but he was instrumental in providing such an accurate flight model and the ZIBO mod 737. So always good to see you here, Tim. And he said the experimental flight model is a big contributor to the extra drag. My tests caused me to reject using it for ZIBO, and we developed a custom fuselage model. I remember, Tim. A lot of people don't realise, but X-Plane 11 is a great simulator, but there are some limitations, and the ZIBO flight model is heavily modified by adding extra aerofoils here and changes behind the scenes to make it, or give that sort of impression that it's flying like a 737-800, of which it does an incredible job. I can't often tell the difference. And obviously the LevelUp has their own flight model for each variant with regards to what they've done, so each variant is going to need input to improve over time, and at the moment it's far too draggy. But all these things that you'll see with the LevelUp aircraft are issues that were presented to ZIBO and us as testers and Tim. So I've seen these issues in the ZIBO before. I've seen too much drag. I've seen the taxiing through syrup on the ground. I've seen the delayed response to the flight controls. They're all issues that ZIBO had and were rectified and fixed over the period of 5 years. So there you go. And this aircraft, I should think in time we'll have it as well. But hey, thanks for popping in, Tim. Scott C, thanks for the 12 months as a member. Happy New Year, Captain. Glad to have been here a year. Thank you very much for your 12 months as a member, Scott C. Really appreciate it, buddy. Hope you're still enjoying your time as a member, and look forward to spending another year with you in the Discord as well. Thanks, buddy. Swim and climb, Captain Alpaca. Is it allowed for passengers to have a guide dog on board? I believe so. I've never had one. But I think in the US, a lot of airlines allow pets anyway. Anyway, I've set 380. But you can see here, look, with full climb thrust, we're climbing 1,600 feet per minute. I'd only expect that in a fully loaded 737-800 at about 73 tons. We are almost 30–40% lighter than that. So yeah, we're climbing extremely slowly for the gross weight. Oh, anti-ice off, thank you. I'm too busy looking at chat here. Thanks, Peter Schweinberger. Very well spotted. We'll do a little cabin tour shortly. Jordan Todd, whoa, we were. Good morning. Hi, Jordan. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Chris F, how long is your flight? 1 hour 10 minutes from being airborne, and we've been airborne for 13 minutes, so about an hour with no delay. Piloting Chris, which SimBrief profile did you use for the LevelUp 737-600? I used the default SimBrief 737-600 profile, and we saw how the fuel burn on the ground on the engines was a little low, but in flight it's pretty good in comparison to the SimBrief flight plan. A little bit less than the 800, but yeah, it seems pretty spot on. How about a peacock for a support animal 2 tons? Imagine that thing going off at the cruise. AG Barabiro, when would you turn a wing anti-ice on? So when you're in icing conditions and you see ice building up on the wiper, windscreen in the corners, it's very much a see icing and then remove icing, as opposed to engine anti-ice, which is a preventative de-icing measure. Oh yes, what are these signs on the door everyone's been talking about? Well, the door's been open the whole flight, slight security issue.
Minimums, minimums, minimums. Approaching minimums.
Flight deck door unauthorized entry is prohibited. Is this something in the alpaca one though? I've not actually, this isn't the alpaca one, remember? So I don't know. Maybe it's something on the other one. It's a little, look at the sun coming through the little window. That's so cool. Obviously you'd be blinded in reality, but there is sun. It's sort of shining there. Very cool. Macan, 13 months as a member. God for Santing. Thank you, Macan. I'm not sure what that translates in, but I guess you're saying they're happy continuing of the year. Would you say the A600 variant is a baby Boeing like the 319, or is it still the 200? Happy flight. Thank you very much. Oh, any Boeing is like the 200. I feel they all feel the same. The NGs and the classics and the Maxes. I should think size-wise, probably more like a 319 maybe. I don't know. 318 perhaps not. Oh, other side of the door. I'm sorry. Oh, what have we got here? Get a caution, help, I'm stuck within
50,
these doors.
40.
My spirit
30,
is trapped, my
20,
family needs
10.
me. Why? Who put this here? That isn't in the real one.
No cancellations for Alpaca Snowbird Express between Toronto and Orlando. Smiley face. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, Tony, for the $10. Very much appreciated. My US engineer. No cancellations for Alpaca Snowbird Express between Toronto and Orlando. Amazing, Tony. Thank you very much for the $10. Happy New Year to you as well. Brilliant. What was that about? 5G? Bluetooth device connected door is 5G compatible. That arrow points to the handle. Handle with care. What does this say here? Emergency exit. Somebody once told me the world, if gonna roll me, I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. The plane staff are coming. Get out of hero? Not sure. Quicker, hurl yourself off plane. Honestly, what is my purpose? Help, I'm lost. Oh my goodness me, can't read that. Panic, rip the door off its hinges, throw the door into the ocean. Very good, 10 out of 10. That's quite funny. Ilias01, will you be flying the PMDG NG3 for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 when it comes out this month, maybe? Really? Is it coming out this month? I don't think it's coming out this month, is it, Ilias01? We'll of course try it, absolutely, but I'd be very surprised it's coming out the next month. It's been delayed and delayed and delayed, I think. John Franco, Europe need more Boeing in Fusion. It's sad how much Airbus has taken over. Yeah, a lot of airlines have also cancelled Boeing orders for Airbus as well. I think Transavia, the Dutch airline, have cancelled or swapped Boeings to Airbus as well, as has Jet2. I think really the biggest Boeing operator is Ryanair. They've got a lot of NGs obviously, and Max is on order too. Connor, here's the comparison. So 318 is like the 736, 319 the 737, I guess 700. 320.738, 320.739. Yeah, that would make sense. 2E, obviously, yeah, loads I've forgotten. KLM 2E, obviously, Jet 2. Ranks, would you like to see Microsoft Flight Simulator improve? Absolutely, yeah. See some good commercial aircraft. Definitely use it. John Christie, that 5G sticker reminded me, is there concern in the UK with the 5G towers causing issues with landings? There's been a ton of hubbub in the US regarding it. Nothing I know of, John Christie. When we complete automatic landings, we do instruct everyone to turn their their device onto flight mode, though. It's not proven. You just don't want any interference with the auto land system, the ILS, so it's a request we make. Got some ATC here for you guys. London Centre, good evening, Alpaca 90 Foxtrot Bravo, climb flight level 380 to Ampit.
Alpaca 9 Fox Bravo, London, roger, climb flight 390.
Climb flight level 390, Alpaca 90 Foxtrot Bravo. There we are, 390 set. I actually thought that was our final cruise level, but would be on an odd, so that's fine. 390 set on the overhead panel, MCP, and the FS.
KLM 959 Alpha, London, control room to 1 November, arrival descent level 260. Level 260, room to 1 November.
Flipping Josh YouTube, I've got to do my chores whilst I watch. I'm sorry to hear you've got to do chores, but thanks for watching. Melly Minaj, suspected in the ZIBO. It's got a lot of catching up to do. The flight model is going to require a lot of work to get closer
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
to the ZIBO mod.
6 Oscar Romeo climb.
I think it's all out of order there, but firstly 2 tons, 24 months as a member, 2 years. You should get your alpaca emoji shortly.
4532.
It could be an opportunity to capture the delivery flight from Everett, Washington to your operator. Would you accept it? Yes, I'd like to do it at least
30,
once.
40, 30,
2 tons for sure.
20,
Absolutely.
10.
I wouldn't want to do it all the time, though. Definitely liked it. Thank you for the 2 years, 2 tons. Appreciate it, bud.
THX for the great content every time. This for us well your streams as your tutorials.
Thanks, bud.
Happy New Year to all of you from a cabin crew member.
Cheers.
Smiley face.
Cheers, Hawkey. Thank you very much, buddy. Glad you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for your time coming in here as well. Probably a colleague of mine, but thank you indeed, Hawkey, for your generosity. Cheers, bud. Yeah, 2 tons. Definitely would love to do one. Just to say I've done it, put it in my logbook. But they are reserved,
right now, 4 Romeo Foxtrot
they're reserved to particular pilots, line training captains, and sort of
good evening, ready for clearance.
senior captains. There we are, over the UK
yes,
anyway.
we're on gate 10 in Leeds, Boeing 737.
I've had Wrexham.
Date is unavailable, current row call, please.
Rocklaw.
4 Fox, 4 Romeo Foxtrot, you've data also, Lamex 2 Whiskey, 32, Squawk 0570. Repeat Squawk only, please, for Ryanair 4 Romeo Fox. 0570.
Yaroslav, do you think Microsoft Flight Series flight model will ever get as good as it explains? Time will tell. Time will tell. I cannot wait to try out the PMDG 7.3 though, and compare it to...
London, good evening, Ryanair 3 Mike Oscar, flight level 330.
Ryanair 3 Mike Oscar, descent level 250 to be level
Sorry about the VATSIM, guys.
Flight 250 to be level by Ryanair 3 Mike Oscar.
Yeah, it'd be great to see how PMDG behaves, because I can give you a, that looks pretty good. I will be pitching against the ZIBO mod. The ZIBO, for me, it is so friggin' close to the 800. So I do say that the PMG have to get up to that sort of level of accuracy, especially things like VNAV, how VNAV behaves. Like the PMDG is really good, and I loved using the NGX and FSX when I started the channel, but it still had lots of little issues, like holding wasn't great. VNAV, a slightly different VNAV system to ours, so they have VNAV out and they don't have the option to disable that, so hopefully they'll change that. But yeah, it'd be good to, absolutely great to see how it is. Hi Duncan, thanks for jumping on VATSIM, makes it much more fun for all of us flying with you. You're most welcome. I always try and go on VATSIM where possible. Oh, we've got a new frequency apparently.
Can you check in the altitude? 4,500.
Oh, was he calling me? Oh, I think I missed that.
125 and 4,500 feet, staying on 15 meters. 641, descend to altitude 3,500 feet further on course.
Just on the next frequency.
Reach altitude 3,500 feet further with the glide, 641 right. Alpaca 6, Oscar Romeo, flight level 3.
Tell me to contact a different frequency. I must have missed him. No one in chat spotted it.
Climb flight level 350, route direct to Catad. Alpaca 6, Oscar Romeo. 103 Mike off.
I'll just go over. Just told me to contact it anyway.
Charlie Bravo, continue the right turn, heading 050 degrees. 050 degrees.
London, good evening. Alpaca 9 of Foxtrot Bravo, flight level 390, inbound keypad.
Alpaca 9 of Foxtrot Bravo, London controller, maintain mark decimal 78.
Decimal 78, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo.
China 14
Now, just before I go to 78, just something I wanted to point out regarding the drag model at the moment. We're at 390, attitude is pretty spot on, 2.5 degrees for 76. Look at our thrust. Way too much thrust here to maintain 76. In fact, I actually have the airspeed unreliable tables with which the ZIBO mod is primarily built off, and they're very accurate. At 39,000 feet, guys, at our gross weight, which is 53 tons, so a little bit of interpolation I'm using here. To maintain decimal 76, we should be doing
40, 30.
We should be doing
20,
about an N1
10.
of 86%. It's actually come down a bit now, to be fair, but it was a bit high before.
Power sleep.
Dear. Oh my goodness me. Very generous of you. Thank you very much for £50 donation. I did have a power nap before this stream. Don't forget, guys, I got up at 3 o'clock this morning, almost 18 hours ago, 17 hours ago now, and I'm running on adrenaline at the moment, because I've been to Spain and back today. So, yeah, thanks, Tim. Very generous. Sorry, I know how difficult it is for me to talk over VATSIM controllers and everything here, but it's almost impossible to control. So
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
Thanks for the £50, guys. Just to reiterate, we should be having about 86% N1. It's 92, so not far off, but it's too high a thrust setting for this phase of flight, and ATC instructs to do decimal 78, so it's going to be very slow to accelerate. You'd only have a high N1 like this if you were right at maximum altitude. That would be the main issue. So yeah, 2 drag it at the moment. They'll fix it in time. Thank you ever so much for your incredible generosity again, Tim. £50, and one of my longest members on the channel. Thank you so much, buddy. And Gino, 8 months member. Ooh. What's this? He says. Forget about this. Time has flown so fast. 8 months. I appreciate that you always appreciate the always superb content, knowledge that you give us, Captain. Most welcome, Gino.
380. Birth 4601.
Thank you very much indeed. VATSIM, they need to sort something out with volume, because I can barely hear the controller, but everyone else is extremely loud, and I know how frustrating it is for some of you, especially if you're non-English speakers, trying to hear me over ATC. I am doing my absolute hardest though, guys. Bounce, expect some holding, it looks like. Brilliant. Well, been told to go fast for now. What do you want to if we're expecting holding? But we are 180 miles from top of descent, with a little bit of time in the cruise. Just going to stand up for a bit. There we are. Elsmith, have you been to Coffin Corner before? I've climbed. So in the NG you can go up to your maximum altitude in the FMS, and I have been sort of with 200 feet of that before, and it leaves very little margin. One thing that's missing on the PFD is below your VMO, MMO speed in this case, you should have a little yellow 1.3 G high speed buffet margin as well, a little yellow bar here. And when you're at Coffin Corner or quite high to your max altitude, the yellow lines are almost joined together. I went up there, I was still on their phone, we went up there, and it's not comfortable. Because you have very little margin between high speed buffet and low speed buffet, especially if you're on a high G or quite high Mach numbers. You can get Mach buffet, which is quite uncomfortable.
A firm, Alpaca 6, Oscar Romeo.
So yeah, thrust now 92.4, should be about 88, 87, it's not too
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
So busy on frequency, my goodness. Wiz 100. Glad to come back as a member. You've been a member for at least a year. Thank you very much for your continued support, buddy. Coming back. I hope you're still enjoying your time here. Thank you very much. Tim Sanders, countless hours of flight testing against the Boeing cruise charts were conducted to tune N1 and fuel flows to match real aircraft numbers. N1, N2 curves are very difficult to get for all altitudes. I remember Tim going in the level D sim and setting on the ground the thrust settings at 5% increments for you and ZIBO. So this is the full motion level D sim, and you can set the thrust at 10%, 20%, 30%, and you can get exact figures such as fuel flow, N1, N2 rotor speeds, and that was fed into the ZIBO mod. But yeah, it took Tim and ZIBO many hundreds of hours of work to get that right. This controller's busy. He's not stopped, Massive Nerd. He has not stopped since we've been on this frequency. So busy. That's what a cool sign. 3234. That's a mouthful. Very softly spoken controller, yeah. So busy.
Flight level 350 for speedbird 4532. Speedbird 4601, contact London 133.7. 133.7, speedbird 4601. Alpaca 5 Victor Alpha, you're on frequency. Over and 5 Victor Alpha. 5 Victor Alpha, London Control, mark decimal 78.
Tim Sanders, the feedback from the sim was invaluable help. Oh, I haven't been instructor. I left as an SFI 3 years ago now, but it was providing all that feedback was cool.
Ryanair 1975, descend flight level 210. Descend flight level 210.
God, Craig Jim's very quiet as he did a big New Year's Eve. Yeah, he got his head around his arms, tucked in. Henry, can you explain Mach Buffet? So, as you fly higher Mach speeds, as the airflow passes over the wing, it accelerates and decelerates, and as you turn the aircraft and increase G loading, certain parts of that airflow can exceed the speed of sound, and as it exceeds the speed of sound, this phenomenon it can cause a phenomenon called Mach Buffet. It's basically a loss of lift caused by this, and it can cause your stall speed to increase. We actually demonstrate it during a type rating. So you associate stalls, guys, with slow speeds, but you've got to remember that's not how an aircraft stalls. I guess I can get chat to answer this. When does an aircraft stall, guys? When does an aircraft stall? Let's see how many people can get this in chat. Of course it's associated with speeds, but if you increase your G, your speed stall speed can increase, but there's only one thing that means the aircraft will stall. Ethan Blicker, straight in there, critical angle of attack. That's all that matters. Angle of attack, exceeding the critical angle of attack causes an aircraft to stall, and you can exceed the critical angle of attack at any airspeed. So you can do it at 130 knots with the flaps out. You can do it at 300 knots if you increase back pressure considerably. So when you experience Mach Buffet on a sort of steep turn, the angle of the attitude at which the aircraft gets lower considerably.
Descend to flight level 300, Ryanair to Lima Mike.
Aircraft everywhere.
London, good evening, Charter Mike, with 6,000 feet, unlock 1 Golf.
People, when you flushed the toilet too long, unbelievable. Oh, there's all my clouds gone. Well, there's the beautiful UK. It's so stubby. I love the 600 to shape of it. It's just cute. There we are. Made it a little bit quieter. Yeah, we'll get this in alpaca livery soon, but I think when you fly LevelUp is great, and they've done a great job getting it released. A lot of things that need to be improved on, which they will in time, but it makes you appreciate how good the ZIBO mod is. I think a lot of people... I mean, I'm not affiliated with ZIBO in any way apart from the fact to just test them. It just makes you realise how lucky we are to have that aircraft in the sim, and how much work and effort's been put into it. Janet, how many more minutes before landing? Crikey. If there's no delay, about 40 minutes. I expect we'll have to hold.
Turn rate 150.
London, good evening. Shell State Mag with you. Overhead on Mark 6000 feet.
Actually, speed relates to stall because lower speed means a high angle attack to maintain it as you slow down, angle attack increases, and when you're slow enough that angle attack becomes critical. Absolutely, so you need to have a higher angle attack to fly a slower speed level flight, but it's only exceeding the critical angle attack which will cause you to stall. But it is related. Blazing Twin, where are we over right now? Directly overhead. Wellingborough, Corby, coming to Huntingdon, then Cambridge. Just south of Peterborough. I'm actually from around this part of the world, so that's where I was born. Nowhere near there now. Size of that tailplane, everyone's pointing that out. As far as I know, it's the same vertical same line, vertical tailplane.
Ryanair 58, contact Amsterdam.
81 arrivals into Eindhoven. Oh, guys, this is not an airport that can cater 81 arrivals. What have I done? Well, there's another contrail there, but that's just exploits some of that funny bug where it draws another contrail in front of you.
So left onto 030 and descend flight level 25.
There's only 15 stands in Eindhoven, I know. I think the only airlines that fly into Eindhoven are Transavia, Ryanair, and is it a military? So, I think it's quite a big military airbase for the Dutch as well. Can we get 737 likes today? I don't know, Dabs. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Thank you. Raptros game at this race, you'll be lucky if you don't have to divert. I think we might be. But you guys like the realism. Just bear in mind I don't have my Schiphol scenery installed. And also I think it's a zoom level 15 tile, so it will look a bit dodgy if we do end up diverting. Krista, does the CG move during flight, during fuel consumption to 600? I don't know. I don't think so. ZIBO, the ZIBO mod certainly does. That has a fully modelled moving CG, and CG's been modelled for each passenger, each fuel tank, and the change of CG in flight is real to the real aircraft. I don't know if the 600 has that yet.
I did give you a clearance to control airspace, but you didn't bring it back right. Tomcat 71 Charlie Hotel heading to 50 degrees.
Do we go into Eindhoven as well? Very interesting. Boeing 737 NG. I like this aircraft. Very good. Microfish alpacas are like a swarm of locusts. Have a look at the VATSIM map quickly. Okay, but the thing is, it's a VATSIM event, so everyone's flying into Eindhoven from all sorts
London, Chelsea, mate.
of directions here. Let's have a look at the whole point there. It's actually not looking too bad.
I've got 250, Chelsea, mate.
You can have ATC for the whole sector though.
Qatari 011, flight level 240.
Qatari 011.
Oh, I was quite wrong. There's actually quite a few airlines that fly into Eindhoven. Wizz Air as well.
Qatari 011, descending flight level 140.
Another good evening, Shamrock 330. 544, cleared for takeoff, runway 23, Cambridge.
A PC-44 pilot high flight to sim. You've been at this a while now. Where do you see your simming in 2 years? Hopefully, we'll be just carrying on what we're doing here, and I love every single minute of it, PC-44 pilot. So, I'm a big believer in life. You should do the things that make you happy, keep you relaxed. And I look forward to streaming. I flew today, guys. I was at work, and I was looking forward to streaming. And I know for a lot of you, that seems absolutely bordering. Like, I'm very fortunate, don't get me wrong, and I see myself incredibly lucky to be in this situation. But I enjoy the streams. I sit at work and I go, what should I do next? What should we plan here? Descent flight level 300, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Do you still need 7-8? Roger. Alright, very early descent, but let's do it. So 300. This is actually a good opportunity to demonstrate a few of the flight model issues at the moment, drag. So if I select, actually a bit high here, won't make much, we need to do it at a bit of a lower altitude. Let's just do a descent here at VNAV. So 300, and cruise descent, that's correct. And we'll do 1,000 feet per minute now at 7-8 speed window open. Amazing too. Wait, where did you fly from today? I don't disclose such information. I went to a Spanish destination from the UK. There you go. How vague is that? Microfish probably won't need a speed brake for this plane.
Report speed to Amsterdam 125.
Try very hard to listen out to ATC here. So directly overhead Cambridge at the moment. There's Cambridge Airport, I think. Or maybe it's there.
Landing control, speed be 185 across clearance to Boston.
Get my map out. Bury St Edmunds. We've already passed Cambridge. The reason I said that is my excuse. I saw Echo Golf Sierra Charlie. Is that Cambridge? Oh, that's embarrassing.
Did you still mate for speed be 185?
Brandon, you should do some more non-normal streams. Yes. Trailing edge flapper symmetry. ZIBO wants me to show. And loss of system. No, loss of system B. I don't think we've got trailing edge flapper symmetry knowledge yet. Sure, overhead you. In reality. Yes. You're not flying those today, are you?
Report speed to Amsterdam 125.750, Ryanair 10.
We better start setting up for the approach, actually.
Resume on navigation direct to Redford, 24 Charlie.
So arrival, it's going to be a red for 4 Echo. Overview RNAV arrivals you'll need as well. Actually no, that's not the right one. The ILS X-ray initial approach for 2-1. That's the one I wanted. And then we also need ILS final approach. There we are. I'll grab the airport parking stands. Wonderful.
Alpaca 90 Foxtrot Bravo, descent flight level 270.
Descent flight level 270, Alpaca 90 Foxtrot Bravo.
Spirit
270 checked. Just leave it in VNAV.
Flight level 300 for speedbird 4532.
So we are now in a 5,000 feet high. We should still be doing cruise descent here. There, cruise descent there. I shouldn't have done that on the VNAV profile now. So what chance I need? Let's just do the
Longer trail today, November 19 Charlie.
descent page. So descent to
service for London Farnborough Airport.
Farnborough.
And negative.
Okay, and should I contact you after departure?
If you are departing northbound, then Eindhoven, please call me when airborne.
What's his ATC?
For Charlie, descent flight level 210.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Heading
I have enjoyed your
130
stream so much
degrees
during
and on conversion 280 knots. Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. I'll read that again, whoever that was. Thank you so much. 130 and 280 knots on conversion. Sevenwood, I will read that very shortly, buddy. I was just ATC came right at the same time, so I just pressed my high speed mute button. 25868. So sorry, buddy. 200, 259 at 49. It's just so busy here. 259 at 48. Execute. Just get the QNH. I feel 7 wood, so sorry. QNH Eindhoven is.
Flight level 270 on conversion. Can you repeat the speed for speedbird 4532?
There we are, executed. Set page 280 knots on conversion, so we've got
down 27 and speed 280 for speedbird 4532.
American 24 Charlie.
And we can actually change over now. There we are, 280. Sven Wood, thank you so much for your £25 donation. Very generous of you. There we are, I'll re-ping it.
30, 20, 10.
Now holding. I'm told to speed up here. Thanks for the £25, 7wood 777.
I have enjoyed your stream so much during 21. A donation to you, and I'll make the same to ZIBO.
Oh, legend.
I have learned so much listening and watching to the most professional of all professional pilots. Congratulations. M777. PPACOM Nefel aged 46, now 68 years.
That's amazing. 7wood 777, thank you very much for your generosity and a very kind gesture to ZIBO as well. ZIBO deserves all the credit and support as well, so really appreciate for contribution towards him as well. That's very kind of you. And yourself, PPL, you did a Kilo Oscar Mike November. Flight instructor aged 46 and you're now 68 years old, I think you're saying. Well, thank you, that's incredibly generous of you. 777, thank you very much for your contribution. I'm glad you're enjoying the streams. Cheers, buddy.
Descend flight level 300, Alpaca 6 Oscar.
Can't, it's so busy, guys. I cannot remember last time it was being as busy as this. Absolutely crazy. So fixed wings runway 21.
300, Alpaca 5, Victor Alpha.
Very early descent. You're gonna have to. I wish I took an hour's fuel, guys. 10-4, where I'm with 3.5. Direct Redford, descend flight level 210, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. There's Redford, LNAV. And I can't really clear level. First officers, 250 I think. We'll confirm with ATC if you're not sure in reality, but I've got plenty of ears and eyes in chat.
Flight heading 130 degrees, Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo.
So all these systems you see here, the FMS, the ND, is all ZIBO. This is the ZIBO systems in the LevelUp aircraft. 210, that's it. Thanks guys.
London 123.7
so that's my short-term memory coming up to capacity there. So levels, directs, distractions, fills up your short-term memory quite quickly. In reality, we straight away confirm Betas. This is just absolutely crazy. Right, got all everything in the FMS we need to. Let's have a look at the airport charts. So, I'm anticipating holding. It's extremely busy. Our arrival's going to be the Red for 4 Echo. MSA, it's Holland. It is complete flat weather around there. 1800 feet to MSA, coming in via Redford, which are direct to, well, actually approaching it now, looking 6 miles. From Redford, direct to Hamza. From Hamza, direct to Lickdow. And then from Lickdow, we're going to go to Tupac. Tupac, Iptas, and you'll notice how the actual arrival goes from Iptas to the initial approach fixer to EHEH. I modified it slightly to put the RNAV arrival in, so from here, instead of that we're doing Iptas, 582, 594 Bestie, which is all there, 4,000 feet above, Gilleb 2,000, so we can change that to 2,000 feet above.
Direct Redmond.
And that will take us to the extended centre line.
Birmingham, sir.
Gilleb onto
We've
the
got
runway.
company traffic.
There's Gilleb.
For clearance to Dublin.
Shamrock 321, Northern Controller, clear to Dublin, level 19.
This controller again,
555.
amazing. Not only is he managing all the traffic in
555 and clear to
Eindhoven,
Dublin,
he's giving clearances to people on the ground. This is crazy.
Shamrock 321, correct. If you can follow the company traffic, hold 01.
So happy with the routing, it's RNAV, checkpoints, MSA, elevation, minimums, we'll check on the chart now. So ILS frequency,
Foxtrot Bravo, speed 250 knots.
250 knots, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So
Alpaca
250.
6 Romeo, descent flight level 270, speed
10975 CILS, which is active. Courses are
Descent flight
213.
level 270, speed 250 knots on conversion, Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo.
Vivid 4532, speed 250.
213. Platform's 2,000 feet, 6.1 DOE. 6.1.
Alpaca
That's,
flight Victor Alpha, flight heading 2, crash on 13, 0
that's coded as Echo Hotel 567, which is in the FMS. 2,000 feet is also there as well. 3 degree ILS. That checks in the FMS. Minimums for the ILS is 267. 267 is set. QNH is 1009, which you can preset here, excuse me.
Thanks very much.
It's holding at some point, maybe vectors, we'll get onto the ILS, we'll check all that, check the minimums, frequencies and courses are all set. We have to go around, it's climbed 2,000 feet, track 213, 3 miles off the DME of the ILS, or TACAN, sorry, it's actually based off 17.2 TACAN, so we'll put that on standby. We're going to make a right turn back to EHEH, climb to 3,000 feet hold. So that's it. RVR we needed 550 metres. Excellent. So for now, excluding any holding, if we go straight in, we're going to burn 500 kilos. So conservatively, our landing weight is 52 tons. Runway 21, 3,000 metres. Plan to vacate it. Actually,
heading 040 degrees, descent flight level 2.
so here's the terminal. I think what we have to do is vacate to the right and then taxi this side and then cross the runway to get onto the terminal. So we have to vacate to the right on 21, not left unless you want to go to the east.
You want me to make a right turn 180 degrees?
Flat 30, order break
Right
3,
turn
we'll make
180
Romeo
degrees
5,
and
and that's it.
part.
If we get into Eindhoven, that is. Demonstration time,
Descent flight
guys.
level 250, Alpaca
So the
50.
800, 700, 600
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, report to speed to Amsterdam 125.750.
125750, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, bye. It's very hard to provide an instructional live stream with so much ATC. It's continuous talking and monitoring. So I am trying to give it some educational. I want to try and demonstrate the subtle descent rate.
Amsterdam, good evening. All no for Echo arrival. Expect runway 21 and expect to hold at Sophy.
Expect hold at Sophy and runway 21 have the arrival. Thank you very much. Britannia 948.
Ryanair 2 Lima November, contact Amsterdam, runway 18,
So busy,
bye-bye.
guys. I like sector just...
Contact 71 Charlie Hotel, contact the Raymond, 123 925, bye-bye.
123 925,
Amsterdam, very good evening. Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, descending flight level 210 inbound to Hamza.
Alpaca 9 Fox Bravo, Amsterdam, hello. Stop the descent flight level 220. Red 54 Echo arrival, expect to hold at Licto.
Descend flight level 220 on the Red 4 Echo arrival and expect holding at Licto, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So, 0 checks. This is my demonstration I wanted to show you guys, okay? In the NG, if you descend at 250 knots, it should be very similar to the 800. 250 knots of idle thrust, we'll let it get settled down here.
1 and vectors for holding, KLM 178. Lisa 96 Hotel Romeo, turn right heading 230.
We should be doing about 2,300 feet per minute, so just let it get settled down. Sort of, actually not too far off, of course it is, but it was the test sector. There we are. So the NG is about so much ATC, so loud. It should be about 2,300. To be fair, it's actually not too far off. 2.5, 2.6. So the drag model, it is draggy. You can see it's sort of doing 2,700 now, but in the NG it's around 2,300, 2,200, sort of fluctuating slightly. It's actually not that far off. On the test one, it's doing about 3,000. Maybe it's because the wind's decreasing, I think. But it is a little bit too draggy. I can't really show you VNAV because it's just too busy. This really wasn't the best for a test sector. I can't talk to you. 118.8, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, bye. Yeah, this isn't... This is the only place that had ATC tonight. And I just didn't think it through. I mean, it's great fun with the immersion, but it's just constant ATC makes it very difficult to talk over.
KLM 785, descent level 80. About to let level 80, KLM 785. Ryanair 2 Lima Mike, descent level 160.
Can't even check in.
Center 160, Ryanair 2 Lima Mike.
Amsterdam, very good evening. Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo descending. Flight level 220, inbound Hamza, 250 knots. So much traffic.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, hello. Hold at Licto, inbound course 090, left hand turns, free speed.
We'll hold at Licto, 090, left-hand turns, free speed, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So free speed, we're going to bring the speed back to 230 knots. Don't want to go much slower than that at that height. And let's see how the level up should hold fine, because it is the ZIBO system. So hold, next hold, Licto. This is the second time I had to hold. I had to hold to my Spanish destination this morning due to fog. To Licto 090, and he wanted left turns. Standard 1.5 minute legs. This is, I think, a non-standard hold. There we are, holds in.
Level 90 around entry Michael's call.
There we are. So again, I'll look at the thrust pitch settings we should be having in the 600. I've got the thrust pitch couplings, but this for the 700, but it's close enough. So at 20,000 feet, at a weight of 50 tons almost, 52.4, 20,000 feet at 52 tons, maintaining 280 knots. Well, can't really check it then, should be doing about, well, put it this way, to maintain 280 knots, we should be doing 73.8% M1, and we're doing pretty much that, but we're maintaining 230 knots. This thrust setting at this height, we should be doing 280 knots, not 230, so it just shows you how there's too much drag in the model. We should be doing 280 knots with 73%. That's off the pitch power settings for the unreliable airspeed tables. And the unreliable airspeed tables are, it doesn't matter what airplane you're in, Cessna, Concorde, Space Shuttle, 737, pitch plus power equals performance. You set your attitude, you set your thrust setting, you get whatever you need for that pitch and power setting based off your gross weight, be it a level, segment, a descent, a climb. Final approach settings, very accurate. Hold's going to be 15 minutes, thanks for the heads up bubblegum. So let's review the fuel situation. We've got 3.6 tons on arrival, we need 2.3 to divert, so that's 1,300 kilos. We've got about 35 minutes extra fuel before we'd have to divert, so it should be okay as long as there's no further delay. Tom from Russia said it's a game, no really. They're all games. Controversial comments. Sam Heaton, pitch power because performance is pretty much every aircraft. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pitch power, if you set the attitude, you set the thrust for the phase of flight on a light aircraft, doesn't make much difference. On a heavy aircraft, you need your gross weight as well, and you'll get what you need. And it's incredibly accurate. When we teach airspeed unreliable in the sim, one of the things we demonstrate is we fail the airspeed indicator. So when the airspeed indicator fails, sorry, I was looking at the altitude there. This memory items you have to turn off, disconnect the automation, turn off the flight directors. You initially set a target attitude of 4 degrees, 75% of the flaps are up, and then you look at these tables in the QRH, and it tells you, right, what do I want? I want to have level flight, I want to descend, I want to cruise. You then set the attitude and thrust setting, and then we recover the airspeed, and the airspeed is usually within 2 or 3 knots of what it says on the table. Very accurate indeed. Oh, I've just realised I've been disconnected off VATSIM. Flip. I was wondering why it was so quiet. Oh God, I think that was just it. Yeah, it can't have been an FPS issue. There we are, back online then.
Amsterdam, very good evening. Alpaca 6, Oscar Romeo, inbound Hamster, flight level 1.
Look at all the aircraft here.
Alpaca 60 Romeo, hello. Hold at Ligdo, inbound course 090.
Oh my goodness. Are there any other aircraft holding? Got it?
Hold at Ligdo, inbound course
So 1, 2, 3,
left master.
4, maybe not this guy, but these aircraft are holding.
Amsterdam, Lufthansa 1600, flight level 110, and North Coast.
Lufthansa 690, hold at Sopfi, inbound course 360.
Ask you, if you have an unreliable airspeed, can you use ground speed from GPS? Yes, GPS ground speed is actually quite useful. Gives you a rough idea what you're doing.
About 360 and the right hand turn.
Petrus, if it was FPS issue, it will say in the X-Pilot window. Doesn't, it just says the last server message and then connected to voice server.
Ryanair 5 Mike Tango, cancel the hold, fly heading 010.
Oh no, hold on. X-plane connection lost and disconnected from network, it just says Petrich.
Ryanair 5 Mike Tango, correct, contact Eindhoven,
That's what it
frequency
said. So X-plane, yeah, X-plane issue then. X-plane connection lost. Then waiting for X-plane connection, and then it reconnected to X-plane.
To Ryanair 2 Lima November, descent level 190.
Jibs. Everybody just hold.
Ryanair 3234, descent level 120.
There we are, entering the hold. We've got about 30 minutes of holding fuel.
American 24 Charlie, descent to flight level 160.
Duncan, you're still in the hold, and you were 25 minutes before me. Oh dear.
American 24 Charlie.
Picture, yeah, it wasn't FPS then, it
Alpaca 9
seems.
Foxtrot Bravo on this.
AFM, yeah, we had a connection issue, reconnected, entering the hold at Licto.
Thank you.
Amsterdam, radar 9, goedenavond. KM 5 van Tango inbound.
Yeah, what's the FPS right now? Getting 55 FPS, so yeah, just 60 if I look down there. That lovely ortho I downloaded for Holland.
Belmore 948, descent level 100.
There, entering the hold at Licto anyway. We don't have...
Belmore 948.
We're holding here, look. This is a non-standard hold, but in a good position for the approach. See if we can find anyone else.
Killer 5 on Tango, hold at Sopfi, inbound course.
Oh, so the holding somewhere else at Sopfi, wherever that is. Good.
Hold at Sopfi, 360, right entering, KM 5 on Tango.
Best holding speed tour. Well, at this altitude, 220, you don't actually want to be flying the best hold speed because it can put you quite. You can't actually see your up speed below flight level 200. Descend flight level 200, Alpaca 9 of Foxtrot Bravo. So 200 in the hold, 10,000 feet per minute. Yeah, when you're above 200, you get no up speed. When you descend below 200, the up speed appears. So you sort of want to be doing 230 knots. Sopfi's from the German side. Thank you, Ferry Defew. Eddie, I believe a Tidvu situation, yeah. It's looking Copenhagen Tidvu hold like. We were in the hold for an hour, weren't we then? Crikey. It's incredible how you remember that. Anyway, yes, entering a hold like this, if we were told we would expect to lay 30 minutes, I'll be very much getting the weather at our diversion airport, so in Amsterdam. Obviously this hold today is based off the huge amount of traffic going into what is essentially quite a small single runway airport.
I'm not going to be giving any ETAs at this time. Still trying to clean things up, and once we've cleaned things up, I'll be giving some ETAs. However, for the time being, everyone expects at least 10 more minutes.
Oh dear.
Okay, thanks.
Never a good sign when a controller is unable to provide an estimated approach time. Oh dear. The Copenhagen thing was bad, it was
Kilm 785, cancel the hold, leave Ligdo on heading 060.
Mason 9, how to the hold now? Mason 9, how long were you in the hold for? So obviously the aircraft holding, it's the ZIBO system, so it'll work like the ZIBO mod does, and the ZIBO is one of the best aircraft at holding in any desktop sim. It's well modelled and programmed accurately. It'll do just as the real aircraft. It'll work out if it's direct parallel offset entry. It'll do it.
Back 5, Victor Alpha, flight level 220, inbound onset.
Some fuel flow here actually. So the thrust settings are too high, as we've discussed, but the fuel flow is actually not far off. So I'm sorry, adding a bit of thrust here. So we're burning about 2 tons now. So even though the thrust is high on the M1 side, the fuel flow is representative of what you'd expect, which is good.
2 for Papa Romeo, just for your information, there is currently traffic also at level 110, considering you.
Don't want to see I saw your cheer. Controller's laughing.
So there will maybe some conflicts, but that's all I can do at this time.
Also reassuring from ATC. I've been in the hole so long I've done my Christmas shopping.
6 Charlie Bravo, same issue for you, some traffic just return to the network, was at level 110, so there is currently maybe some potential conflicts that might arise, however that's the situation we are currently in.
So basically saying if you get an R8, don't worry about it. We know about it.
Amsterdam for K1 5, 1 Tango, how long do you want us to make the legs?
5 1 Tango, 1.5 minutes is right now.
Roger.
Hi Captain, hey, compare this to the PMDG 737. So if I was to order it, the same flight level 180, Alpaca 9, Foxtrot Bravo. 180 set vertical speed. I think PMDG has a lot of in-depth system modelling. For technical issues and things like that, it'll work very well. For flight dynamics handling, ZIBO MOD 737. This is very good for a launch version. For most users, it's perfect, and you're not going to find anything wrong here. But for those who are wanting very realistic, pitch power settings, everything's right. Bang on, it's this ZIBO mod. Get your violin out, guys. I'm just trying to work out how long I've been awake for now. My alarm went off at 3:30 this morning. Nearly 17 hours awake. I'd be in serious trouble if I was still flying an airplane in real life right now, put it this way. And I still am. I'm in the sim. I feel absolutely shattered. Absolutely shattered. So now we're below 200. Look, we have an up speed, and actually we can bring that speed back a little bit now. That'll help us save a little bit of fuel. This 6 hours 56 minutes hold available. I think what that is looking at your present fuel flow. Look at that. Apparently we're burning 50 kilos an hour per engine. Why? It's like a Cessna 150. So that's way off. So yeah, fuel flow needs adjusting. No wonder it's saying we can hold for 9 hours and 10 minutes burning that amount of fuel. 50 kilos an hour. 100 kilos an hour, it's like a Dash 8. So the hold available is obviously based off the instantaneous fuel flow, which is should be doing. There you go. Look, as the engine thrust increases, look, the fuel flow is increasing. That's the hold available for us. That's not correct.
Alpaca 6 Charlie Bravo Schiphol.
6 Charlie Bravo is not me, is it? No. Good.
Alpaca 60 Romeo, descend to level 190.
7 flight level 190.
Very idle.
Film 785, contact Eindhoven, frequency 124.525 away.
Yeah, we'll solve climate change if we could develop an aircraft that could burn 100 kilos an hour. Love the comments, guys.
Mike Oscar, cancel the hold, leave Victo, heading 060.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Cancel hold, leave Victo, heading 060 right after Mike Oscar.
Oh, Tom F, absolutely. I haven't seen anyone else in the hold yet.
Inbound course 090, left-hand turns.
Very nice hold though, look at that. Is air control holding inside?
Amsterdam Control, good evening, Ryanair 9 Hotel on Redfa for Echo, flight level 190.
Ryanair 9 Hotel, hold at Ligdo, inbound course 090, left-hand turns.
Order Street, code
Duncan
0
is 6
left and course, Ryanair 9 Hotel.
Although it's looking very good, yeah. That zoom level, I think that one is 17. That tile, yeah, I did around Eindhoven. That's actually arc. The reason is the Bing maps and the Google maps around Eindhoven Airport are all blurry because it's actually a military airport, and I think it's just what they do to the arc sources as blurry.
How long can we expect a hold?
Melody, RS-38 pilots allowed to fly the 600, 700. Yes, it's common type rating, so I can fly the 6, 7, 8, 9, and
20
max.
minutes, good info, and descend flight level 200.
Jackers, how's the new PC? Love it. Really, really pleased with it. I had it about a month now. It is. What are we here? 50 FPS.
Delta 64 negative, just
So
flying.
yeah, it would have been about 25 on the old. And the ground of Dublin at the start of the stream was like 90.
606, flight level 130 to the hold at top.
So we're streaming, remember, 6 hours behind live time, so in the sim it's 14:28. 2:28, sun will be setting in about 45 minutes. Wait, so you don't need a different type rating to fly the max? Nope, common type rating. Notice that it's taking quite a wide, big hold direction here. So you can see, look, they're only turning at 10 degrees angle of bank, which is why, look, that everyone's sort of holding inside that. So it's an older ZIBO hold model, I don't know, but it's quite a wide hold. From an ATC perspective, they don't really mind as long as you're on the correct holding side and at the height they want to be at. Ooh, we're almost up to 737 likes. Thanks, guys. 620. Let's actually have a look at the pitch power. Yeah, this is way too high, 70%. I'll tell you that. So let's have a look here. Pitch power settings in the hold at 15,000. That's close enough.
Okay, request divert.
So I'm diverting. So holding at the up speeds at 50 tons, we should have an N1 of about 61%. Holding at 200 knots, we've got about 70%. So you can see that drag a little bit too much, which is why I've got 10% extra N1 to what we should be getting. Peaceful.
Ryanair 2 Lima November, contact naar Amsterdam again, 125.7.
Someone's diverting then. Don't know, was that an alpaca or a Ryanair?
Ryanair 3 Mike Oscar, contact Eindhoven, 124.525, bye-bye.
Can you repeat frequency? Ryanair 2 Mike Oscar.
Ryanair 3 Mike Oscar, 124.525.
Hello, Tor Light, or Tor not short. Hi, super interesting, thank you. Welcome to the stream.
Ryanair 19075, cancel the hold, leave Licdo, heading 060.
So again, just to demonstrate the handling.
Cancel hold and heading 060 for Ryanair 1.
Just disconnect the autopilot for a second. Love that sound, by the way.
Ryanair 8 Hotel, hello. Hold at
so again, just to show you sort of the responsiveness of this aircraft. Okay, so if I make a full left turn, it's actually a little bit better than it was on the takeoff and landing, but it's still... Descent flight level 170, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So we had to fly the hold. 170 VS. So it's sort of a little bit too slow. The roll rate is actually, the aircraft's quite responsive, guys, and the roll rate is very snappy. Surprisingly, you think you fly slower, and obviously the effectiveness of the controls isn't as good. But with the flaps out, if you've got flap 30, flap 40 on final, the roll rate is actually quite snappy in the 800. But yeah, if I make pitch inputs, look, if I go down and up, then down, it's just a bit of delay. You can feel that as well if you're sick. Just use a bit of rudder here. If I go full right on the rudder, very slow. But that roll rate is really nice. That's sort of how it, you know, secondary effect of yaw, how the aircraft rolls like that. It's pretty spot on. It's just a little bit slow. There's full left. There's the yaw. There's the roll. That's exactly how the 800. I've never done that in flight, but the level D sim behaves just like that.
Descend flight level 180, Alpaca 6
Yeah,
off
we'll
the
get
road.
this yoke camel set up for Friday. That's the plan. Command.
Britannia 9 for
This passenger, I'd be quite concerned about. Yeah, me too. Michael, have you downloaded the Ortho? Or have you made the Tarsway? I just download Ortho from whatever different source there is. This is Bing, so you can see there's some clouds there, but...
Lufthansa 690, descend level 100.
Sorry, the ARC, I used ARC. Oh look, there's an aircraft there.
Ryanair 1975, contact Eindhoven.
Ryanair.
124, decimal 5 to 5, bye.
Target approach on 124, decimal 5 to 5 for Ryanair 1975, bye bye.
David, would that rudder input have snapped it off? No, but if you were making rapid oscillations left and right, you'd put a lot of stress on it, and it could damage it. It's not designed for that. The rudder is most,
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, descend level 160.
Descent flight level 160, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. I was literally just about to say the rudder is the most effective, powerful flight control. It's exactly what Matthew Presley said in chat. He was also a pilot. You look at the size of the rudder on this aircraft, but it has to be this big. The reason is, if you have an engine failure at low speeds, be it on just after V1 or on final approach, you need to counteract that yaw moment with full thrust. And that's why every thrust setting is calculated. Takeoff thrust isn't just about making sure you take off with the runway length available. You want to make sure that you have a sufficient thrust setting to ensure you actually have directional control in the event of an engine failure. So you need to make sure every scenario is covered. And there's very important speeds on takeoff called VMCG, on climb out called VMCA, and we have to make sure the V speeds are above these speeds. And that's why the rudder is so big, because you need to make sure if that engine goes pop at V1 and we are committing to takeoff, that we have sufficient rudder authority to maintain directional control, which is why V speeds are so important. Yeah, a bit of engine activity.
Ryanair 2 Lima Mike, any idea of how much longer in the hold?
Ryanair 2 Lima Mike, as it appears to me right now, you're going to be number 6 or 7 to leave the hole, so that's going to be at least also at least 10 more minutes.
Roger, we have about 15, we have 20 minutes of fuel left before we have to go over.
Then you should be fine.
Engine empty, I saw. Amazing. Sam Heaton, American Airlines 587 springs to mind. Was that the A300 out of New York soon after 9/11? And the PF, what's that mean? No, PF made too many yaw inputs left and right, basically blew the rudder off. Okay, aircraft crash, remember that? Can the rudder affect the airflow over the elevator, the 7.3 and planes like that? They can in my glider, but they're very different. So yeah, rudder input won't make any effect on the elevator. However, on the takeoff, you've all heard me talk about the dead band. If you look at the shape of the 7.3, as you rotate, the airflow goes over the wing and affects the amount of lift on the horizontal stabilizers, so you actually lose a bit of lift, which is why you have to pull back again at the dead band, which is the attitude at which just before you get airborne, just to increase the amount of lift at the horizontal stabilizer.
Ryanair 322 is Stuttgart. Actually, not the Stuttgart. Ryanair 3234 descend to flight level 100.
Descend flight level 100, Ryanair 334.
Michael, do you know if we're going to see the ZIBO 737 in Microsoft Flight Simulator? I don't think so. It'll be X-Plane 11 and in X-Plane 12. Oh dear. So airborne 1 hour 17, we were entering on the ground almost 10 minutes ago. Fuel wise, that's better, 31 minutes, but I'm just taking that with a pinch of salt. What we really want to look at is the fuel and the gauges, which is 3.4, we need 2.3 to divert. So it's about 20 minutes of fuel left before... And that's 20 minutes from doing a go around, remember, I know, but if we divert with that fuel from here, we should have sufficient 2.3 tons. I want to get in though. Will you still fly the ZIBO now that LevelUp is out? Absolutely, Rory. Yeah, absolutely. LevelUp is very good, very impressed with the launch version. Flight model needs a lot of work. Descent flight level 150, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. 150 set.
Ryanair 8 Hotel, descent level 180.
Attitude's pretty good though. Thrust setting's a bit off, but the attitude is pretty spot on for most phases. The final approach though, you'll see me. We'll try and hand fly as much of the final approach as possible. Honestly, it's like flying a B-52. I wouldn't say it's like flying the Blériot. It's not that laggy, but it's like flying an aircraft that's twice the size. It feels very heavy in pitch and roll. And the reason is that, as we highlighted several times after departure, the speed at which the flight controls move is very slow.
Have a good one.
Tim Sanders, love to say, but gotta go. Time to go watch my daughter get hitched. My goodness, Tim. Well, excellent news. Cheers, Flight. Thank you very much, Tim. Take care. Great to hear from you again, bud. Keep in touch. There's the Ryanair holding. That's wicked.
Descent flight level 160, Alpaca 6 off the road.
Eindhoven, hello. Ryanair 5, Mike Whiskey. Sending flight for
you can see that if you... Yeah, sort of...
Ryanair 5, Mike Whiskey. Hold at SOP feet. Inbound course 360. Right hand.
Okay, I see that, guys.
Hold at SOP feet. Inbound course 360. Right hand turns. Ryanair 5, Mike.
5 Mike Whiskey, correct, descent now flight level 1.
Oh, there's an Alpaca 5 Victor Alpha, either directly above or below us. It's above us, I think.
Descent to flight level 80. Cancel the hold. Leave SOP feet heading 360.
Look at that.
Flight level 80 and leave the hold.
There's a fine machine. That looks like a ZIBO 73.
Alpaca 6 Charlie Bravo, contact Eindhoven, frequency 124.525, bye-bye. 124.525, Ray 86. Bye-bye. Ryanair 3234, descent level 900.
There's an aircraft holding ahead of us as well.
Ryanair 8 Hotel, descent level 170.
There he is.
Level
That is mega. Thank God, that was you. Very cool. How are you doing up there, sir? Who needs wedding receptions if you could look at a flight deck to serve in the hold? Petrus says, wait turbos ever are concerned in tight holding like this. Anyway, an issue on approach should take off.
Just to confirm as well, resume normal speed.
Matthew Press is a great thing on day one of a trip. More flights.
In the hold, resume normal speed. There are no speed restrictions in the hold.
You get paid more flight time equals more dollars, but on go home day this would be maddening. Oh, Matthew, we don't get paid for flight time. We get paid on scheduled block time, so we hate all delays. No, we don't get paid by the hour.
Hold at Ligdo, inbound course 090, left hand turns.
Kai Parker, do you do any pleasure flying at all? No. No recreational flying. The Glider 600.
American 2 for Charlie, descent level 130.
It's got my sounds turned down, that's why.
Descend to level 130, American 2 for Charlie.
Oh.
Ryanair 2 Lima Mike, descent level 100.
Yaroslav, when this plane will be released, get it now. It's been available for at least, I think, 24, 48 hours. Let me find the link, guys. Lee Richards, this is your pleasure flying, isn't it? Pretty much. Let me just grab the link for the aircraft for you.
Inbound course 360, right hand turns.
It's a shame that mods can't actually post links on YouTube. It's either off or on. If I had it on, that means that everyone can post links, which I just don't want.
Constant 299, descent to flight level 140.
140,
AZ2 for Papa Romeo, contact Eindhoven, frequency 140.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm trying to find the link and I can't think straight. That's why it is so important to respect minimum rest and maximum duty times. 12 hours typically, less if it's doing more sectors, because you feel it. I feel frazzled. I'm trying to find links and things, I can't think what to type, and that's why it's so important to respect rest times. Felix, what do you think about the flight model? It needs a lot of work, but for the casual simmer, no problem at all. Casual simmer would have no issue. We want impeccable standards flight sims.
American 24 Charlie, descent to flight level 120.
Descend to flight level 120, American 24 Charlie.
Why can't I find this link?
Fox Bravo, descent level 140.
Descent flight level 140, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. 140 set.
Contact 690, contact Eindhoven, frequency 124.
Still trying to find this link, and my brain is smudgy. I've got the page all about the aircraft, but it's not actually the download page. Oh, if someone could DM me the download link in Discord, that'd be great. I literally can't find it. Domino Mosina, how did you post links? Can you actually do that as mods now? Is that a YouTube thing? Thank you.
Ryan 159 Yankee with you.
John Franco, is it freeway like ZIBO? Yes.
Inbound course 090.
Thanks, Domino Mosina. How did you do that?
Left hand turns, inbound course 090 at Listo, Ryanair 159 Yankee.
Yeah,
Ryanair 2 Lima,
well,
level 90.
maybe mods can post links now. It used to never be. It used to always be that no one could post links apart from. Descent flight level 130 back at 9 Foxtrot Bravo. 130 cents. It used to be that mods could never post links, and the option in YouTube was basically just either turn on link sharing or off. See, I can post one.
Descent flight level 150, Alpaca 6.
Just paste it and edit it. Oh, fair enough. We have the power. The power. Great. May want to pin the link. Yeah, that's a good idea. So if you want to download the aircraft, I'll pin that to the top of the chat. You don't have the power to pin, I don't think. The mods are evolving. So if you guys have just entered the stream, welcome. We've been airborne for 1 hour 25 on a 1 hour 10 minute flight. It's incredibly busy at Eindhoven. It's pretty much the only VATSIM event in Europe this evening on a Sunday, so I think everyone's taking part. And is it bank holiday weekend tomorrow in the UK? Might be, I can't remember. Incredibly busy. We're down to 3 tons of fuel. We've got about 15 minutes of holding fuel left. Hopefully we'll get into Eindhoven. We're in the hold now for about 15 minutes. This is our 3rd time round, but yeah, we've got aircraft holding here. Could be interesting here. Nice sunset.
Descending level 110, Ryanair 60.
Vo?
Amsterdam getting into Scandinavia 2541 inbound Hamza up speed.
I did spend a lot of time on the ground as well, yeah. I mean, look, we did a 3-hour stream. I said it'd be about 2 hours, that's what I planned. I've not had any dinner, oh dear.
All that's Licto in on the course 090 left and turns down to platform 2 to 2541.
Correct. Ryanair 3234, contact Eindhoven, frequency 124.
Possibly diversion, yeah.
Eindhoven 164.525, Ryanair 3234. Thanks so much, goodbye.
Ryanair 2 Lima Mike, descent level 80.
Descent level 80, Ryanair 2 Lima Mike.
So there is Schiphol to the north, that's where we divert to. 45 miles away, so it wouldn't take long to get there.
360, right-hand turns.
Just bear that in mind. No sleep, no dinner. Get the violin out. Love it, Greg. Return to sector. Have a chippy. Fish and chips, guy. Captain Daniel, do you prefer level up over ZIBO? ZIBO is still the winner. Bearded Canuck, with just traffic issues, could you commit to Eindhoven since the hold isn't weather related? Good question. In reality, if you got a solid estimated approach time, then yeah, I'd be more willing to commit diversion for. But you want to be assured of a landing there. I wouldn't be comfortable if I had one runway. I wanted to have two. This is obviously an unrealistic scenario. Eindhoven wouldn't see this amount of traffic. AC couldn't. If I asked AC now, can I have an exact estimated approach time? They couldn't give me one. So you know, if I was presented to this situation in real life, I wouldn't be committing my diversion fuel to continue to hold. Might do that today. We'll see. Take out tonight. I've got some food in the fridge, Joey. I don't want to wait for another 45 minutes for food. Can a mod please post a link to Uber Eats for the captain? There are other fast food chains available. JPF1, thanks for the heads up. Schiphol's 2-7 for landing. Okay.
Ryanair 2 Lima Mike, cancel the hold. Leave Lido heading
Ryanair 2 Lima Mike, where's he?
Cancel the hold, leave Lido heading 0.
So he's there.
Not 4 November.
We can work out what his height is. Oh, he's 5,000 feet below us.
American 2 for Charlie.
Yeah, he's directly at our 9 o'clock now. So that's that aircraft, and he's 5,000 feet below us. So we've got at least, well, 1,000 foot increments. That would suggest there's 7-8 aircraft ahead.
5 on Tango, cancel the hold. Leave Sophie heading 36.
Oh dear. So we're down to 3 tons of fuel now. Don't forget, I took an extra 1,200 kilos, so if I hadn't taken that extra fuel, we would have been deciding to divert or commit by now.
Hansa line, question Ryanair 5 Mike Whiskey, descent level 120.
Matthew, don't know how it works over there, but we get EFC times over here, and basically, if we did a map of staying in the hold until that time, then heading to the airport, do we have diversion fuel? It's a bit simpler for us, really, Matthew. I mean, we just simply go off. You know, let's get our flight plan.
Alpaca 9er Foxtrot Bravo, descent to flight level 110.
Descent flight level 110, Alpaca 9er Foxtrot Bravo. So 110 checked, VS.
Ryanair 8 Hotel, descent level 1.
Descent level 150, hotel.
So we have, I see what you're coming from here. I mean, this is the fuel, our fin res is 955 kilos, that's our 30 minutes of fuel remaining. Can't use that, and if we are going to be using that, we have to declare an emergency. Obviously Matthew knows this, but most of chat might not. This is the amount of fuel we need to get to Schiphol, 1,300 kilos, and that amount of fuel is from flying a missed approach at your destination, so from minimums, the full missed approach procedure, and then flying this routing, the Perseer 3 Alpha into Schiphol at 6,000 feet. It'll be 36 minutes and full arrival into your destination. So obviously, 36 minutes, no, it shouldn't take that long. But this is the full routing. It's always based off conservative figures. So some of that is our amount of fuel we need to divert. I wouldn't want to use any more of this in the hold still to delay the holding. I'd always want to divert and go heavy, if you know what I mean, with the extra fuel. So 2.3 is designed for the full missed approach. SID star to your alternate. I wouldn't want to hold any longer than this amount of fuel. I'd rather divert with this and land, certainly knowing I'll protect my fin res. I think that's what you're getting at, Matthew. In reality, if there's a lot of disruption as well, I would also leave on top of that if it was very likely. You know, if the airport is closed and a lot of aircraft are diverting, I wouldn't leave with that. I'd probably take an extra, on another 500, 600 kilos on top of that. I think a diversion via Gatwick Challenge would be the smartest idea. I haven't done that for a while, Joe. Oh, struggling to keep my eyes open.
Descend level 9024 Charlie.
Actually, is it busy at Amsterdam? I don't think I'll be able to see it from here on the little iOS. Too far away. Oh no, there it is. We can see Amsterdam. Nowhere near as busy. You can see 1, 2, there's a few aircraft turning final, but there'd be no delays. Look.
Ryanair 6 Kilo Lima, descent to flight level 100.
Seems like they're getting through the rush now, but there's still continuously aircraft coming in.
Ryanair 6 Kilo Lima, descent level 100.
Descent flight level 100, Ryanair 6 Kilo Lima.
I'm quietly confident.
Consonant 299.
We're down now to 3 tons of fuel.
120, Consonant 299.
Brussels online as well, that's not a bad shout. I just think we should get by that.
Eindhoven 1245.
Pete Tech, which figure goes into the reserve entry on Perth init page, FinRes or the combined FinRes and alternate? It's the combined FinRes and alternate Pete Tech, which goes into the index performance. There you go, 2.3. Descent flight level 100, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. That way you'll get the message using reserve fuel, so when you get to 2.3 tons it'll say using reserve fuel. 100. I've lost count how many times I've been run out. A lot. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Flight level 120, Alpaca 6, Oscar Romeo.
Yeah, this is the 4th time around.
4 November Zulu, cancel the hold. Leave.
We're getting there.
Heading 060.
Maybe quicker to drive and swim over the channel, Chris. Joe, would be interesting to see a diversion. We've done a dedicated diversion stream. I actually had one stream where I didn't plan a diversion. We had to divert. That was into somewhere in Latvia, I think it was, and we diverted to Vilnius a few months ago. That's the only time I've diverted, I think, unplanned. Or was that planned? I can't remember. I've definitely done some unplanned diversions. I also diverted on a very early stream from Palma to Ibiza. Because we try to do everything as I would in real life. That's what you guys want to see. Yeah, I think it was Palenga, Dona Messina, yeah.
Descent flight level 110, Alpaca 6, Oscar Romeo.
Scotland, you have to have a certain bladder size to qualify a commercial pilot. Unbelievable. Is that the 600? I think someone's in a level up 600 there.
102.41.
Eurotrans 592, descent level 200.
It's a busy road down there. How good is my sim looking, by the way? I love how I have my sim right now. I'm a big believer of not going overboard on plugins. Just have the plugins you need. You can have several if you want, but the more you add, the more likely you can destabilize things in the sim. But I love how the sim looks. Very pleased with it. Oh no, Mesa Island had to cancel the approach due to slow traffic. Uh-oh. Well, we're at 10,000 feet. Nice little bit of wing flex there. Welcome. It's a certain niche of the flight sim community. A lot of people love a bit of wing flex.
Kilo 5 on Tango, contact Eindhoven, frequency 124.525, bye-bye.
Contact Eindhoven 124.525, Canada 5 on Tango, nog bijna aan.
Thanks, Tom. I've seen it. That's such a great view. Looks like the classic wing, the 400. I don't think there was an option for winglets on the 600. Guys, 705 likes. Like the video, 737 likes would be superb, very befitting of today's stream. Thanks a lot. So many of you still here as well, 850 people. It's been a popular one. 1046, one more ahead of us in the hold. Thank you very much. No, 600 didn't have winglets. No, it's a retrofit only. I think it would look quite weird. I mean, yeah, I don't think it needs it. Ooh. Look at that wing flex. Amazing. Oh wow, that really pushed up the like figure. Unbelievable. Thanks guys. Wow.
To keep the flight level at 110.
7-8. Amazing. Thanks guys.
Up here.
Hi, next upstream as always. Group I fly online. I have a question referencing landing lights. It's been suggested that in the USA they are off on at 10,000 euro bits pilots discussion as of whether we use 10,000. It's more an operator specific thing, but I think most airlines turn on. So at 10, well, let's do it now. Look, we're at 100, so if we're level, we'd do it. So we turn on at my operator the fixed and turn off lights, and when we get landing clearance, we put on the retracts and taxi light as well. That's it. Maybe we could do the rest here. Engine access and fuel floor pumps lights, angular bank set to 25 degrees, pressurization set, seatbelts on, recall, checks complete. I love the little model, like it looks like a bit of wear, which is really cool, so you can see the lights through it with the wear. That's nice. The texturing on this is really good.
Can you get me at the bird, please?
Answer line 299er, I can bring you inbound towards Master.
Thank God this controller has his deal sorted, he's so in control, yeah. Obviously with the sheer amount of traffic, I think he's coordinating it beautifully. It sounds like everyone is getting in. What on earth is that? Did you see that on the ND? Did you see that, guys? Look, it's a UFO! It's merged off to the ND onto the PFD. Wow! I just saw that now, I thought it was on my screen. I thought it was a little bug on my monitor. Maybe it was a bug, I don't know if you saw that. UFO confirmed.
Correct, expect factors for runway 21.
I'm expecting vectors for runway 21. 299.
Stray reflection, perhaps? No. UFO for sure. Confirmed.
American 2 for Charlie, descent level 80.
There's an alpaca. The only thing about enhanced skyscapes, you get this sort of bleeding effect with looking at things in front of the clouds. Which I don't quite like, but yeah, it's worth it though, for having the clouds.
Alpaca 5 Victor Alpha, descent level 130.
Let's fuel that now. Yeesh, 2.7. We're getting to our reserve fuel here.
Delta 2300, descent level
2.8. So about 10 minutes.
Ryanair 1590 Yankee, descent level 170.
170 Ryanair 159.
Hopefully, one more time around. But looking in the hold here, everyone is above us. There's one aircraft below us, so hopefully the inbound will be disconnecting. Oh, I wish I'd just taken an hour's fuel.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Tom F, thank you so much for the £10 donation. Very generous of you, sir. Thank you.
A small thank you for your dedication tonight, sir.
Most welcome.
Get yourself some snacks for the flight deck next time.
Will do.
Have been loving your streams over the last few months. Absolutely rekindled my love of simming after about 15 years away.
Well, superb, Tom F. Well, thank you so much for your £10 donation. Very generous of you. Welcome back to Flights in 15 years, my goodness. So, what was that? 2002, 2004, Microsoft Flight Sim 2004 was the World of Flight edition, wasn't it? Or the 100 years celebration of World of Flight. I had that copy. But welcome back. Simming is on another level compared to how it was all that time ago, as you've probably seen on my stream. So thank you so much for your generosity. Ooh, we've now got an alpaca who could jump ahead. Amazing. Thank you, Tom. That's very kind, Tom. Welcome back. Just saw him sort of spawn forward. Got aircraft everywhere. He's well above us. This alpaca is just 1,000 feet above us. It's going to be sunset by the time of that. 3 hours. Oh my god, it's just a flight from Dublin to Eindhoven.
200
And I believe I heard the EC5 actually Yankee. Did you call it?
Looks amazing though. That's beautiful.
At Licdo, inbound course 090, left hand turns, expect over.
That is a very thick disengage button. That needs to be that does need to be shortened slightly. It doesn't stick out as far as that. I just realised that. I mean, it's maybe just the angle perhaps, but no, this needs to be a little bit shorter. Looks a little bit
American 2 for Charlie, cancel the hold, turn left 90,
stuck out.
060.
Cancel hold, turn left.
Then TVG, you could divert to my hometown, which is Antwerp, in that Boeing. There's an option. We're down to 2.6, so sort of we need to get going. And we need to get in off that one.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, Michael Calder, for the $8. That's very kind.
I'm either a little late or very, very early, but Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for piloting throughout another crazy year.
Cheers, Michael. Never early too late, so you've been watching the videos for some time, and that's not the first time you've donated, so thank you very much for your generosity there. Hope you had a great time in, I think it's Australia, am I right in saying that? But thank you very much, Michael. It'll be the third for you if that's the case, and appreciate the support, thank you. Okay. 7 flight level 80, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Any idea for us how much longer in the hold?
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, you're going to be the first one at least to leave the hold that you are in, so it's going to be either this hold pattern or the next one, so no more than 5 minutes, I reckon.
Let's copy Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Down to 2.6 tons, we need 2.3 to divert. Was that something else for me? I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah, so this is sort of like, you know, if we know we're going to fly the approach, I'd stick with it.
7 flight level 9 at 0, Alpaca.
And this says we're going to get there with 2.3, which is our reserve, so let's have a look. If we go around though, interesting decision. In reality, you probably just commit, just do a quick radar vector circuit, but it's not comfortable.
Wizz Air 6806, contact Eindhoven, frequency 124, decimal 525, bye-bye.
124, 525, Wizz Air 6806.
Longest hold I've been in real life.
Line 249.
About as long as this, 30 minutes, I'd say. But that was with widespread disruption with weather. And I took like 2 hour, 30, extra 3 tons of fuel. Snow closures in an unspecified destination.
Alpaca 6, Oscar Romeo, any once we leave with this whole thing?
Alpaca 60 Romeo's for now stop descent to flight level 1.
Kemp, is there a standard turn rate for holding? You're doing on average 1.2 degrees per second. My goodness, is that a little bit too less? It seems to be a bit of a shallow turn to be fair, but there's no standard rate. No standard rate required. As long as you're on the holding side and you're doing the leg distance or the correct time, that's what matters.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, speed 210 knots indicate.
210 knots, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo.
American 24 Charlie, contact Eindhoven, frequency 124, decimal 525.
How much fuel to divert is needed? 1 point, whatever it was.
24 Charlie, thanks so much. Alright.
So, Ryanair 6 Kilo Lima, descent level 80.
The actual fuel we'll use is this, 1200 kilos to get there with our fin reserve a ton.
Ryanair 6 Kilo Lima, descent level 80.
1200 is the actual.
Standing flight level 80, Ryanair 6 Kilo.
Ryanair 9 Foxtrot Bravo, Amsterdam.
9 Fox Bravo, go ahead.
That's
9 Fox Bravo, confirm you are holding at Licto.
Yeah.
Is there another 9 Fox Bravo?
Negative. Proceed now, resume direct to Licto, to hold at Licto, inbound course 09.
There's another 9 Fox Bravo?
Ryanair 9 Fox Bravo, enable Licto, use it, expect vectors.
Negative. I expected you to hold at Licto. I gave vectors for some other traffic that is diverting. Resume on navigation direct Licto to hold at Licto.
There's a ride at iFox Bravo, and I think I know why. Because, but I booked that slot for ride at iFox Bravo.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, leave Licto.
Select 2999. 500.
Blocked.
Alpaca 9 Fox Bravo, leave Licto, heading 060 to cancel the hold.
Heading 090 degrees, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, thanks.
9 Fox Bravo to confirm 060 heading.
Heading 060 degrees, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. There we are, 060 on our way. So we can route direct to 2-pack, execute, using reserve fuel. Okay, so that means, look, that's exactly as it should do. It's saying, look, you can arrive with 2.3 tons, and that's your reserve fuel you put in the FMS, so we're going to burn another 300 kilos. So that is enough fuel to go around to do that full diversion to Amsterdam. But anyway, I need to concentrate now, so what I'm going to do is turn off the quiet music and listen out here, because
Alpaca 5.
Can't really accept much more delay here.
Just gonna need you to 541.
Listen, is that a real life call sign? Yeah, so the real aircraft flight Dublin to Eindhoven is Ryanair 9 Fox Bravo. I booked that slot for this event, so I actually booked as Ryanair 9 Foxtrot Bravo because you had a booking system, even though it seemed to be quite chilled out. And I went, instead of Ryanair 9 Foxtrot Bravo, as Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Which was one of the book slots for the event. Chris, you want to go around a few more times? Oh, we've been there for half an hour. Gonna be probably landing with 26. Hopefully straight in now, we should be fine. Great Suffolk, guys. Good luck, Captain. Landed 10 minutes ago. Lots of wind shear from 8 miles. Quite difficult. Time to clean most seats and repair ceiling in the back of the ones. Cool to fasten the seatbelts. Okay. Oh. Yeah, Peaches, it was an optional booking system, which was strange. Yeah, it didn't make much sense, did it? I booked it, but I was like, it said you don't need to book it, just arrive within the event slot. So I was like, well, I'll book it anyway.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, Scott Irvine, for the £5. That's very generous of you, sir.
I'll be rejoining later in the year, hopefully.
Thanks, Scott.
Could you do cold and dark tutorials for other explain aircraft like the 74 or A300? Your ZIBO 1, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Cheers, Scott Irvine. Thank you very much for the 5. I appreciate it. Hope to see you back, buddy. Thank you very much for considering to come back.
Report speed to Eindhoven, frequency 124.525, adios.
124525 Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Seeds. There's my Dutch exhausted. Eindhoven, hello, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Maintaining flight level 80, radar heading 060 degrees, speed 210 knots.
First Ryanair 2 Lima, Mike, contact the tower.
I'll have a look at that. I'll always stick with 737 Scott. For the 742, Felis, check out Reflected Reality Simulations. Very
Ryanair 2 Lima, Mike, Eindhoven
good setup tutorials. He's Airbus, I think, captain, so he'll help you out.
680,
I'll have a look into it.
Heading
Ini builds actually have a very good set of tutorials for their aircraft as well. But I'll probably stick with 7.3.
Alpaca 9er, Foxtrot Bravo, vector silence, X-ray, runway 21, information, Juliet, descent flight level 45.
Descent flight level 45, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So, Holland have a very low, because it's so flat, they have a very low transition altitude, so there's very few places you'll be at a flight level at 4.5, but Holland is one of them. So you didn't really get a chance to test VNAV today, and the reason is because it's been so busy, been vectored around everywhere. But take my word for it, it does need a bit of work. The VNAV actual profile is good, but for idle path, it constantly has to add thrust. At the moment, it's too draggy. But I will demonstrate on final. The sort of flight controls need a lot of adjusting. Hal Wilson, Ben, are you going to be flying the Hot Start Challenger when that is released? Yes. I have already spoken to Sasso. He wasn't trying to call me, was he?
Xavier 6976, contact the tower, 131.1, correction, 131.0.
So fuel, we're down now to 24, 100 more kilos, we're down to our reserves. So if I had to go around a divert, it would be at least a minimum fuel call.
723, descent 3000 feet, QNH 1010.
Or I could commit to using the diversion fuel to get into Eindhoven, but I want to know there's no delay.
Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo, turn right, heading disregard.
Yeah, 2-5 now.
Xavier Whiskey, how do you copy?
Yeah, Xavier 5 Whiskey, welcome back. Speed 160 knots until 40 ME.
160 until 40, Xavier 5 Whiskey.
Right, let's get the charts out.
American 24 Charlie, descent 2000 feet.
Yeah, good job. The Dutch VATSIM controllers are very high standards. Very impressed with the event, with the sheer amount of traffic they've dealt with.
Right 180,
it's been very well managed.
Cleared approach for runway.
Tiago, are you able to use VORs or NDBs? If yes, could you show us a nav map with radials, QDM,
American 97,
QDR? I mean, on the ND, can you display them? Yeah, I mean, if you tune a VOR, you can find the QDM, QDR, and on the RMI, and you can use this aircraft to fly VOR and NDB approaches, but we primarily use send 3,000 feet, just confirm 180 knots around back at 9 Foxtrot Bravo.
Now first Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo, descend 3,000 feet, QNH 1010, speed 180.
So yeah, I need to concentrate, guys.
3,000 feet, QNH 1010, speed 180 knots, Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo.
With 6806, you've missed the localizer, left 180 to
Left 190 with 6806.
American 907 to...
So yeah, in reality, I wouldn't be very comfortable like flying approach here as busy as this, knowing that we could have further delays. But in reality, you wouldn't be exposed to this situation. I would have probably committed to diverting because I could get an accurate estimated approach time. If they said to me originally, yeah, your estimated approach time is 20 past, I'd really been thinking, ooh, might have to divert here. Speed 180, that wasn't for us though, listed him in. That was for a different aircraft. Unless he said something already, I missed that.
Approach hello, stand forward to 4, flight number 7 till we're heading 220.
First Transavia 8, correction, Transavia 5, Whiskey. Contact the tower, 131.0.
Tower 131.0, thank you very much, bye-bye, Transavia 5 Whiskey.
We've been able for nearly 2 hours. That's crazy.
Lot 4 November Zulu. Yeah, your predecessor has gone a bit too slow. Turn right now, heading 340 and
so, at our gross weight now, 50 tons, we should be doing about 53% N1, 61. So again, about 10% too much N1 here.
Lima, hello, Vector Silence,
so this is too high.
Left, heading 310, descent flight level 45.
Left 310, descending 45.
Pangana, would you have told HC had low fuel emergency in these situations? So at the moment...
Alpaca 9er, Foxtrot Bravo, turn right, heading 140, descend 3,000 feet, QNH 1010.
Riding 140 degrees, send 3,000 feet, QNH 1010, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So, 140, vertical speed, just a very shallow descent required, set QNH 1010. Passing 4,400 to 3,000 feet. Stand by 7 minutes, set. So fuel situations, so at this bond we'd definitely be wanting an estimated approach time. We then have a minimum fuel call, which isn't an emergency, but it basically says, look, if there's any further delay to our, or change to our clearance, we'll be landing with less than final reserve. And then we have Mayday, Mayday, Mayday fuel, which is when we're landing with less than 30 minutes fuel remaining, and then that gives AC a lot more flexibility with regards to what to do with you. But we're not near that yet. We've still got 2.4, which is it's an hour. We've got at least an hour's endurance, so we've got another 30 minutes until we're getting to sort of like that situation where we'd have to make a Mayday call. But yeah, you're running out of options at this stage to divert. So we've got 2.4. It is enough to divert and land with your fin res intact, but you'd have to make that decision quite quickly if you went around or whether to commit. It's going to be a lovely sunset now. Look.
Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo, maintain speed 200 available.
Hope. We're not going to get straight in here. Look, 5 miles ahead.
Alpaca 9er, Foxtrot Bravo, turn right, heading 180 knots.
We're right, 180 degrees, speed 180 knots. Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So 180, and we're going to select flap 1. Better do the approach check this quickly, actually. Frequency's got the ILS 10975, 10975, fixed rings runway 2110-4. We've got the idents for the ILS, which is Echo Hotel Oscar. Echo Hotel Oscar, standby instruments are set. Course is 213, approach check's complete. RGN Elite, thank you very much for joining as a member. Glad you are enjoying the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy the customer urgent chat. Thank you very much indeed. This is not going to be good for fuel burn. 2.4 now, 2.4 on the fuel. So attitude flap 1, we're pretty much level flight.
9er, Foxtrot Bravo, on heading 180, clear ILS runway 21.
Oh, they're setting cleared ILS, X-ray 2-1 Alpaca 9 Fox Bravo. So we can Warlock. Yeah, again, 60% should be, at this gross weight, a very light, should be about 50%. So again, 10% too much M1. The altitude's maybe a little bit high, but only by a couple of degrees. It should be around 5 degrees. Actually, yeah, altitude's fine.
6806 on this.
Approach hello again, it's Transavia 5.
Again, that's when you went around. So there's aircraft about 5 miles.
Transavia 5 Whiskey, welcome back, Vector ILS runway 21.
Vector ILS runway 21, Transavia.
Everything rolled out on 131 instead of 140. Yeah, I just saw that. That's track there. That's your heading. That's your track. Look, we've got a 35 knot headwind there, so that's not the heading. We've got a track up display at the NG here. There's localizer alive. Localizer capture, runway heading 213.
Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo, just confirm speed 200 knots.
Yeah, so guys, Ben, that's heading and track. That's what you saw, the 10 degrees difference.
160 knots until 4, contact tower 1.
Glide, slip alive. That aircraft is quite... Okay, so 4 miles, it should be fine, so long as he vacates in an expeditious manner. He's a little bit closer to the aircraft ahead. I'd be more concerned about that.
Sending 3000 feet, units 1010.
Just on final, we've still got engine anti-ice on, down to 2.3 tons.
Identity 030, speed 220, just verify whiskey.
American 24 Charlie, tower 131.019.
60 inbound, heading 60.
Over to tower, American 24 Charlie. Ryanair 8 Hotel, Vector ILS, runway 21, descent flight level 45, fly heading 080.
1 dot, can I approach? Do I use the flight path vector, Martin? No. Some people do. I don't.
Ryanair 6
like
Kilo Lima, descent 2,000 feet, turn left heading 280.
Might work out that he has to go around because of how close he is to the aircraft in front. That's exactly what I was thinking, Sam. Yeah, minimum separation for him. Maybe he'll go around conveniently. Glide slope capture. Misapproach 3000.
Mike, turn right heading 340, descent flight level 45.
He's really close. He's slowed down. I'm going to go flat 5. I know he said 180, but look, he's only 4 miles ahead.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, report of heavy wind shear at 8 mile final. Contact the tower 131.0, bye bye.
131.0, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, bye. So heavy wind shear 8 miles. Well, it shouldn't trigger anything. Wind shear only becomes active, well, actually around 2,500 feet. We might get a warning, so we might get monitor radar display or go around wind shear ahead. These winds, it's probably the sensitivity and the add-on more than anything. There we are. So yeah, the altitude seems a bit high. What do we hear? Flat 5 on the glide slope. Let's have a look here. Go around headings. Final approach. So we don't have any for flat 5. Maybe it's about right because we are under 600 flying slower. Thrust is maybe again a smidge too high. It should be around idle. We'll check it with tower. At Eindhoven Tower, good evening, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, established ILS X-ray 21.
Alpaca 9 Fox Bravo, allow number 3, continue approach, winds 240 degrees, 16 knots, heavy wind shear around 500 feet.
Continue approach, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Okay, that's wonderful. I would have probably diverted then. Terrain is on the NT. Wonderful. Looking good. Look at our ground speed, like 129 knots because of the headwind. So remember, we have to vacate to the right to get to the apron. So again, our gross weight is... Ooh, that's like colour. Lime green. Interesting. Gross weight is 50 tons, so on final, getting down flat 30, we should have an altitude around 2 degrees and then one of 50% with the landing flat.
Luna 1488 behind the landing.
Configure a little bit early here. So gear down, flat 15, landing checklist. Start switch is continuous. Recool check. Speed brake. Arm gear
Gears down,
lights.
3 greens.
Thanks, Jim. Order brake 3. Holding on landing flap.
Alpaca 60 hier Romeo, welkom right. Romeo contact ground 121.5.
Ground 121.925, Alpaca 6, Romeo. Thanks very
And
much.
flap
Bye.
30. Oh, there's wind shear. That was actually a bit of wind shear there.
24 Charlie clear to land. Sorry for the late call.
There we are. So flaps, we've got 30 green light holding on our landing clearance. So we should have 30% here, flap 30. We should have an N1 of about 50% at this gross weight. It's just a little bit windy, so it's having to make changes. But I want to disconnect, so I want to show you, disconnect all the pilot order throttle. So having to use a lot more thrust in the level up, I mean a lot more. We should be about 50% N1 to maintain our speed, and we need to maintain this speed about 60-65. This is the alarming thing. If you look here on the inputs, let me just make some big inputs on roll. It's very slow. We'd be rolled over at 90 degrees by now. Wait, no, full left, and look at that. It's like a B-52. It's very. 21 cleared to land, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So yeah, in pitch as well, look at that, delayed response down. We should be going down already. It's needs some adjusting, and it's the responsiveness of the flight controls there, way too slow. Anyway, best not be demonstrating this in wind shear conditions. We're down to 2 tons of fuel, 2.1, we're cleared to land. Hopefully we won't get a wind shear warning.
Alpaca 9 Fox Bravo, go around.
Go around, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. Right.
Cancel, go around, sorry.
Okay, continue approach Alpaca 9 Fox Bravo. So, thankfully, I hadn't pushed Toga. That was very close. Now, if I'd pushed Toga, I'd be committed to the go around. But because I hadn't yet, it's okay to continue. But yeah, that was lucky. That would have hurt. We would have been. Continue. So it is flyable for the casual simmer, no problem, but just quite sluggish.
40, 30, 20,
check.
10.
Close. Oh, what a putter! I thought it was going to slow it down, speed brakes up, reverses.
80 knots.
I can't believe that. Idle, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eindhoven. Right, oh, I think I've stopped a little bit too soon. We'll keep the speed up just to vacate at Romeo 5, just to help ATC out here. And I forgot about the sticky tyres taxiing and like through syrup on this aircraft. Oh dear.
Lufthansa 44 disregard. There's a few more inbound. Sorry. Yep.
Oh, he's only 500 feet. We'll make the exit. Unbelievable. Yeah, I just forgot the syrup taxiing. Right, this is a bit of a handbrake exit just to help ATC on VATSIM. That's all. The nose will be screaming at you if you did this in reality. 9 Foxtrot Bravo vacated. Amazing.
9 Foxtrot Bravo, welcome. Right, Romeo, contact ground 121.925. Bye bye.
Romeo, ground 121.9. I think so. Got ATC. I'm back at 9 Fox Bravo. Bye. There we are. We made it. Oh, didn't even get the lights on because it was such a busy approach. Oh, look at that on final the aircraft. Oh.
Alright, hello, Translate 5 with
and we got 2 tons. That's okay. You know, I've landed with less than that after diverting. Oh, he had to go around. Bye.
Approach, Translate 5 with
just got wind shear or something.
American 9723, I am very sorry. Turn right heading 360, climb to 3000 feet.
Oh dear. Well, we're very lucky just to get in there.
Right 360.
Let's go over to ground.
Correct. Okay, right 360 and continue climbing 3000 feet. American 9723.
Right, that's the alerts.
Right, 6 kilo Lima going right.
6 kilo Lima, Roger.
Was he pulling my leg when he said go around? So yeah, a very important point to take on if you're on your type rating learning to fly the 7-3. If you're told to go around, by ATC. Obviously I have to execute a missed approach, but if they immediately say continue, that's fine. However, if you have made the actions to commit to the go around, so if you push toga, you've announced the thrust levers and said go around flat 15, you are committed. You can't then cancel the missed approach. You have to go around regardless. He said, I was literally, the problem was if I was in a real aircraft, I would have gone around already, but because I was having problems with my joystick, I was looking for the toga button. He then re-cleared us to land, so I was quite lucky that I was in the desktop sim and not the real aircraft. But yeah, very happy to have gotten down. That was it could be 4 hours stream. It was meant to be 2 hours. Oh dear. Right, and there we are, taxiing to custard, 23 knots. But overall, great fun aircraft, and looking forward to seeing how it develops. Ground, good evening, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo on the taxiway, taxiing to Romeo 2.
Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo, hello, hold short of runway 21 at Romeo 2.
Hold short, runway 21 at Romeo 2, Alpaca 9 Foxtrot Bravo. So yeah, got to keep the thrust on this aircraft, again, realistic. Not realistic, you should be able to close the thrust at 30 knots and you'd easily get to the end of the runway. Probably do 20, if it's flat, you're probably doing 26. Well, stream only finishes when we get on stand. I'm committed.
Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo, behind the landing from Davia 737.
Do a little taxi and
Cross
music as well.
21 at Romeo 2. Stand Sierra 5.
Don't attempt any single engine taxi at the moment, this aircraft as well. Chris Kern, I missed my connection flight.
Boeing 737, cross runway 21 at Romeo 2, stand Sierra 6 behind, Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo.
Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo, stand 5.
There we are.
Apologies, that's my bad handwriting there. Stand 5 behind, Alpaca 6 Oscar Romeo.
Probes off. Recall, be master caution, anti-ice. There we go. How much longer might we be?
American 24 Charlie, I always want to double check, so please hold short of runway 21. There will be one more landing prior to your crossing.
How much longer this is going to be? Because I'm gonna need to eat, guys. I had my lunch at about 10 o'clock this morning.
American 24 Charlie, hold short of runway 21 at the Romeo.
1, 2, 3, 4. Minimum separation between. Why have to call it a day? Well, should only be 1 hour from now. Taxi Stream Part 2. All Alpaca's going for it. Oh dear. I'd like to conclude anyway on stand with my thoughts on the aircraft.
American 24 Charlie, Eindhoven ground.
American 24 Charlie, go.
Yeah, I always want to double check. Hold short of runway 21, please. There will be one more landing prior to your crossing.
Yeah, hold short, runway 21 prior to crossing. 24 Charlie.
That's cool. I love the guy. He's an American guy, and he's an American Airlines aircraft, and he's come over to Europe, try out VATSIM. It's really cool. It's just so accessible to so many people. Great. Click on the unlimited fuel option next time, said Chris Curtin. Love it. There's also a... What airline?
American 24 Charlie, do you have landing traffic on short final inside?
Luna?
I have the traffic.
I guess he doesn't have the same scenery as me though. This is a freeware scenery, all the information's in the video description.
Airways, Airbus. Cross runway 21 at Romeo 2. Taxi stand Sierra 4 behind.
Behind the landing traffic, cross runway.
We'll wait, I think we'll get it there. Play Frogger and get over the runway.
Romeo
Classic.
2.
I had Frogger on PS1.
Sierra 4.
Go American, go. And Mason, you had to add fuel so I could land. You can't have that option in real life. That's cheating. Not once on any live stream have I added fuel in flight. I have always taken, used whatever I had left. It'll be less than a ton on each side though by the time we get on stand. Is that aircraft waiting for takeoff? Holding at Romeo 2. Parking brake set. Tom, SOP for quick runway crossing. Toga, thrust. Hold on brakes, release brakes when crossing, approve. Reverse thrust when clear. Frogger. Classic. I had, first PS1, I had Frogger, Crash Bandicoot. I had a game which, oh, it was absolute classic on PS1. I can't remember what it was called. It was like, you're on little ships, and you had little cannons, and you had to fire other ships and stuff, and pick up treasure and stuff. God, what was it called? Is that the lot that took off ahead of us? The hover... It's the hover lot. Oh, that aircraft took off ahead of us.
Foxtrot Bravo, cross runway 21 at Romeo 2. Taxi stand Sierra 6.
Close that is. Cross runway 21 at Romeo 2, stand Sierra 6, Alpaca 9, Fox Bravo. That's a little tight. That might require some sort of report. Sierra 6, straight ahead, slight left turn. It's all clear. Was it Sid Meier's Pirates? No, I can't remember what it's called now. I'll have to look that up. APU's coming up. Was it called Pirates? Oh, it's going to really bug me. Oh, and what was that other game? Oh, and it was like you had like a hover car for a track. And it just would hover about 10 foot off the ground, and you had weapons and stuff. It was like Mario Kart, but not Mario Kart. These little things called. PS1.
Bavaria 5 whiskey on this.
Yeah, Sierra
yep,
6.
About to contact you, Bavaria 5 whiskey. Hello, and hold Romeo.
Hello, 5 whiskey at Romeo 2. Hold short of runway 21.
At Romeo 2, hold short runway 21. So Bavaria 5 whiskey.
There we are. I won't shut the engine off until we're all on stand. Remember, we've got these sticky taxiways. APU's just coming up there. Marshaller has his hands up, telling me to turn right. Straight ahead. Wipeout, that's it. Wipeout. Who here had Wipeout? Yeah, shame we just couldn't test VNAV in descent just because it was so busy on VATSIM. Just didn't have the opportunity. Just step descents continuously. And there we are. The flight time was 2 hours 14 minutes, almost an hour over what it should have been. Absolutely balmy. Right, parking brake is set, APU's available. On the bus, 2 blues, 1 red. Engines are finally dead. On stand with 2 tons of fuel. Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. First ever time actually successfully landing here into Eindhoven. What a wonderful first flight in the Threshold LevelUp 737 in the 737 Baby 600. Great fun indeed. What a stream. I'm exhausted. It's just crazy. Why on earth I chose to take part in this event, I have no idea. But it was great. So many people joined in. The ATC was excellent. And we got in. That's what matters as well. Amazing. Do you do a delay replay? We'll do a replay. But, yeah, just before... Well, let me just get the anti-cold light off. Otherwise you'll all be mentioning that in chat, so we'll leave it on the APU. So, sort of a brief summary of my thoughts on the aircraft. Overall, I really like it. I do like it, and firstly, the looks, the appearance, the immersion, I think is a little bit better than the ZIBO mod. I think it looks great. The sounds I prefer. There's some tweaks I'd make to the sounds, like the flap sounds. The flyby sound a bit louder and stuff like that. It was nitpicking, really. Does have a lot of work needed on the flight model. Everything we've seen today in the LevelUp series is stuff that I've seen in the ZIBO mod in the past, and ZIBO and Twerkster and other team members have tweaked and fixed. The main issue at the moment for me is the flight controls. They really need to speed up the reaction of that. So you've seen several times today, and I've shown on takeoff, on climb, on approach there, far too delayed response to the flight controls, which gives the effect of flying an aircraft which feels 4 or 5 times the size. The 800, this is probably a little bit more sprightly than the 800. Very reactive. You know, if you were to roll as quickly as I would, we'd be upside down with those same inputs. So they need to, probably the first thing they need to look at, the drag model is way too draggy. On the ground as well, as I said, it feels like you're taxiing through syrup. This is positive feedback. This is stuff I want them to fix. This isn't me being negative. This is stuff I know they can get down to the bottom of, because ZIBO did. But for the casual simmer, you won't have any problems. You'll enjoy flying different variants at all. These are the sort of things being very critical, and from my experience flying this type of aircraft, that hopefully will be implemented for you to enjoy in the future. But overall, really, like it. I'm very impressed. I've not really been following the progress and development of this aircraft. First flew it really yesterday, and I didn't actually. I spoke to ZIBO, and ZIBO said, "Oh, I've been providing quite a lot of input. It's essentially the systems of the ZIBO mod." So I was like, "Oh, wicked!" So really enjoyed flying it. I hope you enjoyed seeing it, and we'll no doubt fly it again in the future. Have a little look at chat here. Flyby sound is really quite boring, dead. That needs improving. Yeah, and the ZIBO mod is amazing. Hopefully they'll add a bit of loudness to that. Domino mostly the beacon light. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant stream. Thank you, Commander Jenna Hofen. Javier's Wipeout split screen multiplayer is so great. What a classic. I remember that split screen on the old CRT TV. Old school, wasn't it? Amazing. Where like you'd be having a tiny part of the TV with your friends and family. Classic. Awesome stuff. Well, we'll call it a day then, and to any controllers listening in on VATSIM, thank you so much. AC was excellent in Ireland, in the UK, and in Holland too. The amount of traffic that's involved in these events, like you still see them coming in here, exceptional ATC. With the unrealistic amounts of traffic they dealt with considerably well. Anyway, that's enough talking for me. Let's cue the funky replay music. Oh, that is incredibly loud. I can't even hear myself think. There we are. Oh, that was an incredibly smooth transition to the music today as well. I'm just a pro streamer. Right, let's get ourselves into the approach. There we are. So actually, I can't just... what was it? I was making those big inputs and roll just to demonstrate. It was just after we configured, I think. So let's just speed this up. A bit too much funk.
25.
So I think I disconnected at this point. So I was hand flying.
1,000.
Was it before this? Yeah, there we are. So these inputs, we're on real speed here. Way too slow. Way too slow. Look at that. I was on full left for about 4 seconds there. Just replaying this. If I was to do that on the 800, if I was to do that on the 800 now, we would now be at 90 degrees. We'd be at 90 degrees roll at this point, about to go upside down, and it's just a bit delayed. So in time, hopefully they'll improve that. If you jump into the ZIBO mod and look at how the flight controls move, again, it's not quite as quick as the real one, but it's very close. But again, in pitch, look, I started pitching down and we're still going up, and vice versa, a bit of oscillations. But yeah, they'll fix that in time. Right, let's have a look at that. Butter. It was only just a butter. I didn't think it would be. Yeah. It's so quiet compared to the ZIBO mod. Or maybe it's... oh, it's maybe not even working at all. Ah, it's just so quiet. Look at it, on full volume, you wouldn't be able to hear me speak in the ZIBO mod. So yeah, I sort of pitched up a little bit early because of that delayed response. Whoa. Could have been quite firm, that one. Just about saved it. Yeah, because I thought it was going to be a hard landing. 214. There's the check. Oh, that's actually really nice. Didn't really move much for decramp, but there we are. And then it was the syrupy taxiway. Let's do another one, just from around the touchdown point. So slow as well. Fluky butter, yeah, Aaron, I'll admit. It was quite a fluky butter, that one. Super duper. That sounds quite good. The reverse just needs to be louder. Tower view. Oh, that's a good tower view. Runways and taxi are fitted with auto brakes. There we go, let's do from here. It's a glider, 7.3. It looks beautiful. The model is, the external model is absolutely beautiful. Nice. Jet over them. The jabbiest person in the world. Pretty true. Right guys, well I'll pop you in this beautiful wing view so you can enjoy the approach into Eindhoven from the perspective of the passenger on the left hand side. Guys, well thank you very much for Flight Sim livestream for taking part in it. Great to fly the level up. We've already talked about it. It's available to download for free now. We talked about all the things that need to be improved, but overall, for there's those massive inputs I was making. We've talked about what I think needs to improve, but overall, a great start from the team. Don't forget, the ZIBO systems, but a unique flight model with each variant, and each will need to be tweaked in time to provide a more realistic experience for you guys. Excellent. Yeah, it's in the pinned link at the top from Domino Machine if you want to download it as well. That's it. To everyone that donated, Burak right at the start, and if you're still here, that was £100. Absolutely crazy. Tim 50 quid and all the others that showed incredible generosity this evening. Thank you so much. Never ever required, but appreciated nonetheless. To all the members, thank you so much for the continued support. To all the regular viewers that popped in, thank you so much for coming in to watch one of my videos. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it, subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the latest content, and I'll see you on another Flight Data Sim live stream very soon. I'm feeling a bit sick on this aircraft in particular. See you soon. Bye bye. Miko Rask, just before I go, Overboard. Overboard, that was the game I was talking about on PS1. Thank you so much for reminding me, Miko Rask. Amazing. Guys, take care. See you soon. Good night.
Welcome